Let's see. Shit. Crud. Anyway, never mind. Fuck it. Alright, well, what's up, y'all? What's happening? I reckon we're gonna try it again. We have much faith that the TikTok will reverse its current course of bad algorithms. We don't know, but we hope so. And we will see. We will see. Anyway, just gonna keep it simple for a little while here, see what happens. It is the Sunday, and we're usually on way earlier, but today we're not. So, today, we are, that's it, Jax. That's it. The one with the alien fingers there to cover up the giant dong, I suspect. That's why he's got crazy long fingers. I always like that, imagine. Anyway, I have no idea what's going to happen this Sunday. The last 3 days have been incredibly rough for our live. I don't know why, but they have been rough. So today, I'm on a little later. We're just going to hang in there for a little while, see what happens. Keep it simple. Keep the topic easy. What's up, heathen? Mernin, buddy. Mernin. Mernon. Hello. What's up? Welcome in, everybody. I just started the live barely 2 minutes ago. Have no idea if it'll be something. Have no idea if it won't be something, but we'll try it for about 30 minutes, see what happens. Might as well, for real. Sundays have always been really hit and miss for me, but they're always better if you get on really early and then get back off by 9 o'clock, 9:30 Central Time. I need to take me a damn day off. The last 3 days have been rough, man. Rough. But anyway, we're going to try this one out for a little bit. If we don't get anybody, I think I'm going to switch over to my backup account and run that one for a little while. Build up the new algo on it, even though it's probably not shit. We'll do it anyway. Anyway, today, we're just chilling, keeping the topic simple. Hoping maybe it'll do some shit, I guess. They think it's real because they're desperate and gullible, I suspect. Anyway, I just thought it was a good picture. Good little background piece of art there. But anyway, we'll see what happens here. Maybe we'll get some actual discussions in here today. Although if it's like the last 3 days, it's going to be really tough and probably get nothing but trolls and strippers, I guess. Streakers, whatever you call them. I don't know what you call them. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. I have no idea. I have no idea. Oh, it's just a background picture. It's just a 13th century piece of art. That's all it is. I mean, it's a clear fake as anything to do with Jesus. It doesn't even match a biblical description for real. I mean, John says Jesus' body was wrapped in strips of linen. Last time I checked, a shroud is not strips. Maybe that's just me, though. Anyway, we are just getting started. The live's only been on for 4 minutes, so it's still getting warm there. Getting warmed up. Should have got some warmed up. That's questionable. Actually, the king's son. Dr. Josh said strips was just hyperbole. Ancient Near Eastern cloth rhetoric. That was definitely it. I don't know. Actually, I'm a little later. I like to jump on about 6 in the morning and only run till about 9 before they head off to church. Usually, you know what? Let me go grab my. I'm gonna have to take 2 seconds here. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Sorry. Ugh. All right. All right. All right. Maybe we got a guest here. Let's see. What does that say? Cavoim. Cavoim. I'll just be trolling. Who knows? Hey, Cavoim, are you there?
I'm here.
What's up, man? Are you a Christian?
Of course.
Cool, man. So, which one of the topics you want to answer for us there?
We can start with the. You're a former Christian. What led you to change beliefs?
Uh, God not being just and the Bible not being true.
Yeah, but
I can't worship a God that doesn't act justly, and I certainly don't adhere to a book that can't be trusted.
did did you ever consider trusting it long enough for him to reveal himself to you, and then you asking him instead of making assumptions on an ancient word?
I don't know what that means, but
It means that the
I don't. I
Bible's
don't think a book that has makes supernatural claims about magic and myths should be trusted when it can't even get basic history and stuff right.
So, are you aware that he reveals himself to the people that are truly with him, and that it's impossible for anyone to sway them?
That's not true.
Well, it is, that's why I've just
Not according to the Bible. It's not.
that's why it is according to the Bible. John 14:21,
No,
sir.
the Bible says you can fall away,
That,
even the elect.
so so did you read John 14:21? He reveals himself, and those
Yeah, I've read it, but Jesus lies a lot in John, so I don't think. I think John's the least trustworthy of all the Gospels, except for Matthew and
so what I'm trying
probably
to explain
probably
to
Luke too.
you what I'm trying to explain to you is no matter what a person comes up with, no matter what contradictions or whatever, any of it, the Bible still leads to God. You understand what I'm saying? It still causes the literal entity, the literal being, to manifest himself to people. And I don't know if you realize that.
I mean, I realize people believe that, but
Yeah, so
it
it
doesn't
means
make the Bible true, and it doesn't make God just either way.
here's another perspective, right? If you can't actually sway anyone because that power is solely to God, doesn't that mean you're only harming yourself? If you can't stop God's will, like if anyone in your comments, right? If you can't stop any of those people who God says, I'm going to pick him, I'm going to pick him, doesn't it mean that you're only testifying against yourself here?
I have no idea. I'm
That's
sure
what
if you jump in your head, you do.
hear what I'm saying
I don't know if I don't know about in reality and stuff.
because that's what it means. It means you're only testifying against yourself. It means even if
Okay.
you
Well, how does
speak,
that make God just or the Bible true?
I'm telling you, because it means even if you speak to your blue in the face, you can't stop God from picking whoever he wants in your comments.
Okay, well that's great. How does that make him just, or how does that make the Bible true?
Yeah, so your perspective is your own, but I'm just trying to explain that there's a slew of other people that are not having the same experience and they're not being affected by you. So it's you, you're doing this for yourself. Like at your judgment, this will be brought up for you. It won't be brought up at.
Okay, well, I'm not concerned. I just want to talk to Christians and try to show them that this religion can't be true and it's dangerous.
But do you understand your words don't affect them if they belong to God? It's futile.
I understand logic has no effect on some Christians. Yes, so
okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because you can't sway anyone.
What are we talking about?
Anything you want. Christians, is God just?
How about the topic? Could we talk about that? That would be great.
Yes, God is just.
Okay, so how is God just if he punishes innocent people for things they didn't do? What standard of justice says that's considered justified?
Have you prayed to him and asked him?
I'm asking you.
Well, I'm not
God
him.
ain't going to show up and answer anybody.
But you understand that I'm not him? You're asking people who aren't him. It's interesting, isn't it? You don't see what you're doing.
Yeah, I know that. Crazily enough, God never shows up and answers any questions himself. It's only his mindless followers that seem to show up and speak.
Why don't you ask him, though? Why are you looking for him?
God, why are you unjust? Oh, I didn't hear anything. I guess I'll have to talk to you.
You got to say, in Jesus Christ's name.
Dude, what is happening here?
I'm just trying to cause you to
engage in the topic or not. Like, God's not showing up and talking to anybody. What are you talking about?
I'm trying to get you to see that what you're doing is only harming you. It's of no consequence to anyone else, and you can't actually sway anyone.
That's great. Cosmic, are you there?
Hi, yeah.
Hello. Are you a Christian, Cosmic?
Not the sense that Kavo is.
I don't know what sense he's a Christian in, but are you a Christian in any sense?
The real sense, the kind where I can speak to Jesus and he speaks back.
You sound like a schizophrenic person. The way that you're doing this, Kavo, is absolutely ass backwards.
That's all right. Cosmic, are you a Christian or not?
Yes. But I'm not a Christian the way that Kavo is.
Well, probably lots of people's not Christians like he is, but anyway, we'll just talk to you. Which one of the topics here you want to answer for us?
It's got no. How do I believe in a God that's not a Christian God? Was there a God before their God?
There's lots of other gods to pick from.
Does the Bible have any errors? Yeah. But the only thing that I like, I think Jesus was a real person. I think he was a real protester. He really made miracles to feed the poor that the government were letting starve, right? But I just don't know. I just don't believe in the other stuff. He promised
God would feed you, but it clearly didn't happen. So.
Was that the point of the lesson?
What?
Was that the lesson that God would feed me when the government doesn't?
Well, I mean, Jesus promised God would feed you and you wouldn't have to worry about food, clothing, or water, but he was clearly just lying.
Right, and people don't...
3,000 Christians a day starved to death to this day.
Right, and there are people on TikTok, they're making lives about how, or Jesus versus Paul, and I'm like, where the fuck is it, where the hell has this system been about? Like, did Paul rival Jesus? I didn't even know that, and I was raised Southern Baptist.
He contradicts Jesus.
Hey, what?
He contradicts Jesus.
Right. So is that the government Bible versus the Jesus Bible? Like, you either follow Paul's government sellout BS or you follow Jesus's full on protect people.
Talking about in the Bible. I don't know what a government Bible is.
But I don't know how you must have so much patience to do this because they all have different ideas of what being a Christian is. How do you keep up?
If you're a Christian, I would like to get your ideas.
My idea for
the people I'm actually talking to.
Right, so my personal idea is someone who stands up for the less fortunate, stands up for those who has no voice or rights, has ultimate love for everyone, but God does not need to sacrifice his own creations for his own ego, I guess.
So you're not actually a Christian?
No, I believe in Jesus. I think Jesus was a real dude, and the government hated him for what he was doing. But I just don't believe in the God part.
That's not a Christian belief.
But I believe he was social justice.
I believe you're either confused or lying. I don't know which one, but either way, you're not a Christian. So we're looking for actual Christians to talk to. Anyway, if you are a Christian, come on up if you would like to answer one of the questions here. Need a Christian to talk to who's an actual Christian and one who is willing to engage in the actual topic and not just preach the same thing, same sentence over and over again at me. I'm sure you considered that rude, yes. Sorry. You're not a Christian. Oh, wait, Cassie is, yeah. Right. Damn. Call your back up. But Dr. Josh likes you, Cassie. He just wants to talk to you. I don't know why you won't talk to him. You barely talk to me. You barely stop talking, in fact. But anyway, if you're a Christian and you want to answer one of these questions for us or talk about it, then come on up. I am a non-Christian. And I only worship reality. Yes. Of course you do, Dr. Josh. You know I speak for you. You know I speak with the authority of Dr. Josh. Shit. Anyway, well, we've had where are we at here? Oh shit, I've only been on for 15 minutes. The algorithm's barely moving good yet. Alright, let's see. What does that say? Chitty, I guess? Like Chitty Bang Bang? Hey, Chitty, are you there?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, man? Are you a Christian?
Yes, I am Christian. I am a Christian, yes.
Awesome, awesome. So, which one of the questions you want to answer or talk about?
Um, they're all. Well, I guess the obvious one. I guess go with the first. Let's go with the first
Okay.
one. Yeah,
All right, cool, cool. So I just
I
say
was just
God
thinking
is
through
unjust.
it.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I just say God is unjust. It's pretty simple, actually. Just because He punishes innocent people for things they didn't do, the punishments don't match the crimes. And sometimes He just goes on murdering sprees because He's slightly offended. There wasn't even an actual crime committed. So that's why I say He's unjust.
Um, I just want to know how to communicate this being very sanely because I know we both agree on different things. So I believe, like for example, I believe that God is evil, right? And that's supported by the Bible, meaning like
You think
objectively,
God's evil, but He's just?
yeah. So he's evil, and he's also just. So the evil, when I mean evil, I mean like evil in the calamity sense. He's evil. So in Hebrew, there's actually two versions of evil. There's one that's mentioned like a lot of calamity and destruction, and there's one that mentions just like moral evil. I believe that God is essentially the calamity-based evil, and I personally think that a lot of the things that he does is subjectively wrong, but not objectively wrong. If that makes sense.
I don't think anything's objectively wrong, so I would have to agree with you.
Yeah, because yeah, it's just like it's just very narrow. I have a very particular way of thinking about it, but I do think that a lot of things that God did subjectively, right, is bad, right? Because you see it from your end, right? I see it from, but if you look at it from just the ground scheme of things, uh, if you think about it, like if you didn't wipe out a lot of those Israelites or some of those people that were about to unalive, uh, people, or especially the people that were doing sins and all that, like the line of Judah probably would have been cut off and Jesus wouldn't have been born, you know? So we don't know that. That could have been the case. And, you know,
Well,
Jesus
what we
being
do
born,
know is innocent people are being killed for things they didn't do.
that's true. But Jesus being born, right? The thing is that that's an absolute necessity. Like it's kind of like absolute in a way, because if you think about it, all those people that were unalived, they could probably have a chance to be in heaven. Who knows?
So you're saying God had to set innocent children on fire because Jesus might not have been born otherwise.
The verse. Let me see if I can pull up the verse. I'm not even going to pull up an apologetic for you, right? I'm just going to speak from an honest perspective, because I know you probably heard that like 100 times a day, right? So
Yeah.
I personally feel um, fire was used for a couple of purposes in the scripture. Like he used it to appear to Moses in a burning bush.
Well,
And
this fire was used to
he also
burn
used it to
people.
exercise judgment as well. So when Jesus appeared to individuals, like for example Abraham, right? So you know that, I think there's a story about him coming in a torch, like a fiery torch, right? Or a fiery, and also like I mentioned, a fiery bush. So and he
Well, this is talking
communicated
about
in that
setting
way.
people on fire, not a bush, though. These humans were set on fire. Like the Lord says, and the one who is taken as having the devoted thing shall be burned with fire, together with all that he has, for having transgressed the covenant of the Lord, and for having done an egregious thing in Israel. So they set the guy who took the stuff devoted to God, his sons and his daughters, his ox and his sheep, his tent and everything, and they set them on fire and cast stones on them.
Yeah, that was a rough read, honestly, for me. But it's again, it's subjectively wrong, right? That's just all I can tell you, right? I can't
Well, wait a
say,
minute. How is it not objectively wrong to set innocent children on fire? If you consider objective meaning it's absolutely wrong or something like that.
well, if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, there's two concepts. Number one, protecting the line of Judah, um, and also to ensure that Jesus was born. And number two is that he already has a plan that's set ahead to make sure whoever that person was getting born was getting burnt is gonna end up next. You know what I mean? I don't know what to tell you. It's just it's just hard. It's a hard read. But honestly, I cannot sit here and tell you that
Well,
what
I mean, you
God
don't
did
think
was objectively
it's not
wrong.
justified, right? It's
Okay, I'll
not
give you an
justified, though,
example.
right?
No, it's not. It's not justified by us as humans. But I'll tell you this, right? I'll just give you an
Right,
example.
right.
If you were set to, let's just say, you presupposing that you thought that God was real, right? Um, and you knew, and you were in, let's just say this was, I don't know, someplace in China or Italy, right? And there was a person that's about to be born, right? Um, and
Right.
you knew that that person, let's just say, was going to, when he grew up and he was like 30 years old, that he was gonna, nuke all of England or nuke all of the United States or something like that. Some crazy stuff like that, right? You already knew that was going to happen. You remember, you're God. You knew that was going to happen. So would you consider that like, and let's just say you took that infant out as God, the creator, right? Before he was able to grow up to 30 years old and do that horrific act. And would you
Yeah.
be angry if you saw the humans that you created get angry at you for doing that?
I don't know, man.
It's hard exactly. So it's hard to say whether
Well,
God
you're
does is
asking me a
objectively wrong.
hypothetical where I'm God and I know stuff like that, but I mean, it's impossible. Like, you can't. God would still be unjust, or he could just alter it. He doesn't have to unalive somebody. He could just like not
Like
make them. He could make them do something else or something. He has
like
no problem corrupting people's free will. He could just do that with a murderer.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But do you believe in God at all, or you just dislike him?
No,
Not at all.
No, I'm an atheist, but even if I accepted that God was real, I would no way I'm worshiping this deity. This deity
Well,
seems quite horrible to me.
I think the idea that God could exist is enough reason to believe and want to maybe seek him out more. Because I understand that people, the main
Why would
reason
you
why
want to
people
seek a
leave
God that
Christianity.
sets innocent children on fire, though? That makes no sense to me. Like, hey,
Okay, so
we need to worship a God. God created us. Yet here we are. This God's punishing innocent children constantly.
uh, God, like I said, God appeared in fire in many ways, and He uses that for judgment. But I don't want to get stuck in that argument. If I, like, for example, if I believe that God could be real, right? I'm not even willing to take, a Pascal's wager and say 50-50 because I know that in the end, God has the power. Did you read Ezekiel?
Yeah, I've read it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so when he sent Ezekiel to the land of the dead bones, and then he raised all those uh unalived bones to real life. He saw what he could do.
Yeah, that was not long after he made all the shit bread, right?
Well, sure, but you can argue that, but he still was able to pick them right back, raise them right back up again. So we can't. That's undeniable based off of the text. So if we look at that, like, how do you know in the end he's not just going to raise every single one of his creation up, right? Say, okay, listen, this was all just a lesson, right? I know you.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, why should I have any respect at all for an unjust deity? Like, it sounds like he's unjust. Like, I'm just trying to figure out why you worship this
Subjectively,
God.
subjectively, I know he's unjust, right? Because if we were to rule him out with our own court system, of course he would appear unjust. I mean, even though
That's
he
what I'm
never,
saying. Like,
even
he appears to
though,
be acting unjustly a whole bunch. Like, I just don't understand how you're like, oh, this God, I love this God.
yeah, that's if you
When
judge
this
him
guy,
as a.
that's what I've said, this God is doing horrible shit here. I'm trying to figure out why you have anything but disgust for this God.
And I think it's part of this humility, knowing that I don't know it all. Because if I knew it all, then I would
You
think
don't
that
have to
obviously,
know it
yeah, this.
all, but you do know that he's setting innocent children on fire and other ones he's making sick for a week and he's having women raped. I mean, it's all horrible stuff, it seems like.
Yeah, if you look on the surface level, I can understand as a Christian why you would think all that. But
Yeah,
remember,
but I can't
Yahweh
get
was
past the
feared.
surface level. Like, I mean, like, there's a bunch of women being raped here. Like, I'm going to move past that and see this loving, just God. Like, that makes no sense to me.
And honestly, do you think, like, let's be honest with you, the Bible was written by men, right? Probably in famines, in wars, in jails, and all that stuff, right? And also
Yep.
probably for
Yep.
political reasons, they probably try to push certain narratives. Do you really? I just doubt that a lot of those things in the Bible were like, like it wasn't like pressure to push the authority another way, like to push certain narratives, right? If you look at
It's
the
definitely
archaeological
an
evidence,
authoritarian text. I mean, to me, the Bible seems to be trying to train the people who believe it to be like desensitized to extreme violence and to like submit no matter what, to put this deity before anything else in your life, above your own family. And it just literally divides people. Like, if you're not part of the whatever this is, the religion or the cult or whatever, then you're a worthless, demonized piece of garbage, basically.
well, I don't know if anyone would say that would be cruel, but however, um, look,
Yeah.
if you look at the archaeology, right? If you look at the Sashu inscriptions that talks about the nomads worshiping, yeah, the Sashu inscriptions, right? This like those stones show people worshiping Yahweh. I don't know if you heard of that, and in none of those inscriptions
Yeah.
mentioned Yahweh being like this crazy, deity doing all these crazy things. So, and also
That's
if
what
you
the
look,
Bible says too. It's like the Bible agrees with the amulets.
yeah, I mean, like if you like, I
It
believe
all
the
lines up. Yeah.
Bible. Right. Well, no, it doesn't because I haven't seen like a single
Oh,
archaeological source saying that Yahweh was this crazy cruel dude doing all these things. All I see is if you look at the
the Bible
Merneptah,
says that.
but if you look at the Merneptah stele, right? which shows Israelites in Canaanite cities, you don't see any mention of, unalivings and all these crazy mass things that Yahweh did. I do probably think that it did happen because the Bible says it, but probably not in that way that would um, make someone else look stronger, or like for prideful reasons. You know what I mean? People tend to gas up certain scenarios to make, to fear monger the public. I believe that there was probably some influence there as well that would make someone do that. But if you look at all the archaeology and all those history and the sources, you don't see that it drawn out as much as that.
Yeah, I don't think the Bible even gets basic history right. It certainly shouldn't be trusted on other supernatural claims, I don't think.
No, I mean, you can't say that it's. Well, you've never seen a supernatural thing before?
No. Can you do one for us?
Okay. Have you? Yeah, I can name some if you're open to look at it.
No, I said, can you do something for us? Can you make something supernatural happen? Like if you just try to point me to like a website or something, I'm probably not going to believe it.
I mean, I can't do like I don't claim to have any superpowers. And I don't think that Jesus also demonstrated that he was like this person that to show off all of his skills to impress you. I think he mainly did it for a purpose, either to heal somebody or to get them to stop sinning. I mean, that's based off of what I know. But if you look at experiences, the best experience I can tell you is probably if you look up okay, shoot. If you look up Our Lady of Zayatun.
What is that?
It's like you'd have to take a look at that for yourself. It's kind of like a demonstration of how, supernatural powers might look like. So essentially it's an apparition appearing on a Coptic church, that was filmed on camera. And that kind of like got a lot of people to convert, like over 500 people watched it and all that stuff. So it showed a lot of crazy stuff.
Of an alien. Will that make you believe in aliens if I got a picture of one? I got a Bigfoot too.
Well, if Obama believes in alien, you might as well.
So, yeah. Well, let me ask you this. So let's just say that me and I don't know, Bruce Lee. What if I told you that I kicked Bruce Lee's ass and 500 people saw it, and I have signed and notarized testimony saying they all saw me kick Bruce Lee's ass? Would you believe me?
Can you say that again? And I'm
saying, yeah, I kicked Bruce Lee's ass one time, and over 500 people witnessed it, and I have signed and notarized testimony of them saying that I kicked Bruce Lee's ass with the hurricane kicks.
Well, if I saw it on camera, sure.
No, I mean, I have signed testimonies. I don't have it on camera, but I have, people.
Well, no, because I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't necessarily. But
really,
you're right, because and I don't even believe the Bible alone because it said it either. If that's what you were trying to go, I like the reason why I believe in Scripture.
I was trying to go.
No, I know you were, but the reason I believe in Scripture is actually I use a model. I'm a data scientist, so I developed this model. This is like a 5-step framework for why I believe in the Scripture, and it's called Hades. Yeah, it's real. It's called Hades. Yeah. It's called Hades. The S would stand for Scripture at the end, and H would stand for history. A would be archaeology. D would stand for data that we have. E for experiences and testimonies that people have, and S is the Scripture and the statistics.
I got testimonies saying I kicked Bruce Lee's ass of people that are still alive.
Okay.
Today.
Can we test
How
it
could you
against?
not believe that, but you believe anonymous non-eyewitnesses account from 2,000 years ago? How could that be?
You want to know why? Well, let's go through this model, right? The Hades
I
model,
mean, I
right?
guess.
Do we have any history of that happening? Is it on
What happened?
ancient works of you kicking Bruce Lee's ass? Do we have any fragments? Do we have any?
No, it's contemporary. I've signed and notarized testimony. 500 today, living people.
Notarized testimony?
How is
If
that
it's-
not better
Oh, if it's
than
notarized, that would mean
anonymous
it's,
accounts that weren't even firsthand from thousands of years ago?
well, you have the notarized document, right? Is it notarized by an
Yeah.
official body, government body?
Absolutely, yeah, legally
it's-
notarized.
If it's notarized, if you're living in the United States today, if you have a document that's notarized officially, that would mean that it's a eyewitness, right? And it's been approved and it's been
No,
all
not
that.
necessarily. That just means they watched you sign it.
Well, if there was a scam body that you went to, like a body or a government that you went to, then sure.
Like I can go to the bank right now with something. That just means they watch me sign it and notarize it.
Okay, so did you have, if you had only one, how many witnesses did you have?
I'm just saying, like, how could it not be better to have alive eyewitness notarized accounts than to go back thousands of years and go to anonymous non-eyewitness accounts and believe those when they make miraculous claims? Like, I'm just trying to say, like, it's not logical.
Very logical.
Certainly not scientific.
It's very logical if those accounts that was mentioned in the 2,000-year-old manuscripts line up with what it is today. It can be
Yeah,
prophecy.
but they don't line up with history, though. They don't even line up with each other. Like, why would you believe miraculous things when they can't even get basic history stuff right? There's too many, like, mix-ups in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's only two gospels that gives the birth account of Jesus, and one of them says he was born in the lifetime of Herod the Great, and the other one says he was born during the census of Quirinius. But you can't. That's impossible because they were over a decade apart. You can't have been born during Herod's life.
Right.
In the census.
Right. And the Matthew, I believe, also mentioned that something happened with Jesus when he was buried and when he was crucified, and someone else also said something else. So those are two different accounts.
But one of them has to be wrong, right?
Sure. One of them has to be wrong. Well,
exactly.
Has to be,
so how do you know
be,
which one's right? How do you know which one's being accurate and which one's not?
Well, then I guess you just have to kind of like play, you kind of have to take a guessing game or play some dots because here's the deal. I feel that like if even the fact that there are like three different accounts of Jesus being born, that even further proves his point that he was born, because it shows that some people had some influence.
No, it proves it's made up. If there's only two accounts of his birth, and you have to pick one over the other, that means neither one of them is trustworthy.
Okay, let's be honest, man to man, right? Why, if I'm trying to run like a big Christian scam or start a new religion, why would I put like an obvious contradiction, right? Wouldn't I want to lie to you?
That's because people don't know that it's contradictions. They put themselves in mental pretzels not to make it a contradiction when it clearly is one. Like people have been doing that for 2,000 years now.
I mean, and honestly, outside of that, we also have some archaeology that proves that people worship Jesus that even predates the Council of Nicaea as well. If you also notice, we have the Megiddo Mosaic, which
that don't have nothing to do with the Gospels being accurate.
Well, yeah, it shows that Jesus was a man being praised. That predates the Council of Nicaea by 100 years.
Well, that goes to show you that even 1,700 years closer to Jesus's lifetime, they still didn't know shit about him. They were debating whether he was a man or God or not at the Council of Nicaea. So back then, even way closer to his lifetime, they didn't even know.
They didn't know he was a man or God.
That has no bearing on the contradictions of the New Testament, though.
Well, it doesn't. You're right. It does. It doesn't have any bearings. But what the idea is, like, I'm trying to get to a fine line. Like, was God real and was he God? I mean, if you can argue the dates and all that stuff was mixed up, but at the end of the day,
well, sure. But how did you figure out which gospel was right? Was it Matthew or Luke? Which one's the more accurate one?
I look at both of them. God said, look
Yeah,
at
but
them.
which one's right? Only one can be right. They can't both be right about that aspect.
Well, they're
Also,
both
one of
right
them
about Jesus
says,
existing.
how? How do you know? They can't
Uh,
even get his birth story right. They're clearly making things up. Somebody is reading information wrong here, severely wrong.
Yeah, but those are like nuances to me. Those are small details. I mean, like, I understand if this is a hospital, for example, and you got the birth date wrong of a newborn infant, right? In today's society, you'd be frowned upon or stuff like that. And I probably wouldn't want to do
Yeah,
business
but
with that
this is
hospital.
supposedly a divine and historically accurate document, but they can't both be right. You have to say one of these gospels is insanely wrong. And then I would like to know how you got to which one was the right one and which one was wrong, because they're both saying very different things
Yeah, yeah,
all the way
yeah.
around.
They're both saying different things. Well, slightly different things. Not even fully. Not even the thing is, it's not even that far off. But the
It
fact
is
is
that
that
far off. One
Jesus
of
was
them has
born.
him being born in a completely different decade. Like, that's impossible. Like, if I was telling a story about you and I said, Chitty lived in the 1800s and he talked on an iPhone. Like, somebody would know the story is bullshit because iPhones didn't exist in the 1800s. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
So
you're right.
when the gospel says something is out of place in time, we know that it can't be true. Like, something's being made up.
Okay, but what's not true? Can we go? Can we narrow into it a little bit? Like, what's
When
in
Jesus
general
was
is not
born,
true? Okay, that Jesus was
there's
born.
only yeah that his birth narratives are two completely different narratives. They cannot both be in the same place, and only one can be right if either one of them is right. And one of them even says they go to Egypt after Jesus is born, and the other one says they went straight back to Nazareth. So it's given completely different timelines of Jesus. So one of them is making this up, at least one of them, or
Why
they're
do you have
both
to? Why do
making
you
it
have to
up.
assume that they're making it up? Or why don't you just assume that they
because
were arguing?
because only one of them can be right if either one of them is right, but there's no way to know which one is right over the other.
Okay, but
It's
let's do
impossible
okay. If we
unless
do
you know something I don't. I'm like,
okay, okay. Well, if we just do a process of elimination, right? We could just pretty much maybe pick the one that aligns most with
yeah, let's
history.
do that. Yeah,
Pick the one that
tell us how you did that. Yeah.
maybe pick the one that aligns maybe closer to history, perhaps, right? Maybe you can pick
Well,
that
which
one.
one is that? Yeah, that'd be
Uh,
great. Which one is that?
Let me see. I can even do a quick look up.
I
Which
mean, Matthew says it was during the lifetime of Herod. Herod was a real person. Luke says it was during the census of Quirinius, and
which
he
one
was
do
a
you
real
think?
person
Which
too,
one
and
do
that
you
was a
think
real
is? Which
census.
one do you think is? I know you don't believe in it, but which one do you think is would be? Which one do you think of the stories, right? Would be closer to history? Like, I know you don't believe again, but presupposing that you do, which one would you think
I have
would be
no
closer?
idea, but probably Luke, just because it has less details
Less details.
about
Okay.
yeah, well,
So
there's not a moving star. There's not the three wise men bringing extremely expensive gifts to a guy they didn't know. Like, that
okay.
probably was
Yeah, yeah.
made
So
up,
let's
if anything. Yeah.
yeah, well, let's go with Luke then, right? Because that maybe resonates with you. Okay, so if we go based off of Luke's account, right? Jesus mentioned a lot of things in Luke, especially that was when he was crucified. So
Right.
his account, let's just call that the most accurate. Why don't we just call that the most accurate for now, for this case, right? That does not defeat the archaeology that we have
Yeah,
on
but
him,
even
especially
it's
the.
not accurate to history, though.
Okay, how is that one
Like,
not
it's
accurate to
clearly
history?
being because it's clearly being made up. Everybody knows if Jesus is real, he's from Nazareth, but they're trying to put him being born in Bethlehem to fulfill a prophecy that's not even a prophecy about being born in Bethlehem. That's how I know they're making it up, both of them. You can just say Luke
Uh,
might be a little more accurate because he's giving way less details, so there's way less to actually scrutinize as
oh
far as the
yeah.
story goes. I guess.
Well, sure. If he opened up his mouth even more, right? Do you think maybe
Yeah.
we could have seen a little bit more accuracy? Say, okay, this guy was actually being more honest.
Oh, I don't know, but neither one of them's who they say they are. Neither one of them was there, so neither one of them actually even know. Like, that's why there's just no reason to trust either one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of a reason to trust Jesus because
But there's not
Jesus.
even a prophecy about being born in Bethlehem. They're not even reading it right.
I
That's why
mean,
the whole thing's sus.
we have Roman archives that even describe him as a Nazarene. You know what a Nazarene is? A Nazarene
Somebody
is
from
someone
Nazareth?
that represents someone that's born in Nazareth. So I think we
Right.
have more.
Nazareth probably didn't even exist in the first century.
Probably.
Nobody mentions it. It's not mentioned in the Old Testament. It's only ever mentioned in the New Testament, but other people, Josephus talks about places all around it, even small places, never mentions Nazareth one time. And not to mention, like I said, the very fact that they need Jesus born in Bethlehem just goes to show you that they can't even read the Old Testament properly. So they're just making stuff up about Jesus to have him fulfilling these prophecies. But it's a really bad job.
I mean, we to confirm Nazareth existence. I think evidence is primarily archaeological.
What
Um,
archaeological evidence is there for Jesus of Nazareth?
let's see. We look
I'll save
at
you some time. There's not any. There's zero.
in the first century,
It doesn't
Nazareth
exist.
occupied a ridge. I'm reading off of a
There's not even a.
source.
There's not even a gospel manuscript from the first century.
Um,
If you go to the second century, there's 3 scraps of manuscripts, and they're all about this big. They're about the size of a business card. But there's literally 3 scraps from the second century. If you go to the third century,
if you look
that
at
number
if you
moves
look
up
at if you
to
look at the Lexham
40 or
Bible,
50, but they're still all scraps. Yeah.
if you look at the
The what?
Lexham Bible dictionary, um, uh, you'll see it mentions in the first century AD, Nazareth occupied only the ridge and did not extend to the Jezreel Valley, 350 meters below the reed. The village's 40,000 square meter could have accommodated a population of as high as 2,000 people, but the current estimates allow the population of only 200 to 500 at the time of Jesus. So I guess it was really small, but it was probably like not even an idea. It was this small idea, kind of like the starting of an infancy of a particular region, if you will.
Maybe, but it still wouldn't have been Nazareth yet. But
Yeah, but yeah, I mean,
is that what you're talking about?
yeah, but it's probably Nazareth in its infancy stage, possibly. Good. I'm literally getting this straight off of the Lexham Bible Dictionary. This is what I'm reading off. This, but yeah, look, even if you want to argue that Nazareth existed, right? I have the other sources outside of the Bible that proves that he was a Nazareth type of like a Nazarene.
Who, Jesus?
Yeah, Jesus.
What outside the Bible proves Jesus was from Nazareth?
Well, we have an ancient lost writing. I don't know if you ever heard of this book. It's called this source is pretty debated, right? It's called the Epistle of Lentulus. So that's Luntus epistle. So it describes like a Roman official in archives just mentioning the physical descriptions of Jesus and his hair color and all that. And it describes him as he was the most handsome of the Nazarenes or some shit like that. I don't look at it as scripture. It's just like some Roman archives that just, from the day that goes back to like it was found in like probably penned in the 3rd century when it was penned, right? But, it's just in archives. It was just a collection of what was found in archives. And then it was just written it down so people could see the letter. But I had that particular epistle shows support that he was, in fact, a Nazarene.
Well, it's an epistle that says he was a Nazarene, but it's nowhere near his lifetime, though.
Well, yeah, it was penned in the 3rd century, but it was.
Do you know of anything at all from like anywhere close to the actual lifetime of Jesus that's archaeologically reliable?
Close to his lifetime?
Like anything at all from like the 1st century, even. But yeah, there's nothing.
The earliest reference, the earliest
really
references, the earliest references to Jesus as God will just honestly be in the Megiddo Mosaic, which is it's a Greek inscription. It literally says that God loving has offered the table to God Jesus Christ as a memorial. So it's essentially it's a memorial for Jesus Christ, as if he was a dying member or an unaliving member.
Isn't that from like the middle of the 3rd century?
Second, if you will, but it just showed that how everything was kind of passed down as a generational type of a thing. And so it was probably made in, you know, the I think it's 230 AD in particular, if I'm correct. And then
Yeah, that's
the
way,
earliest,
that's 200 years after Jesus.
well, yeah, I mean, you know, well, if you look at the same thing, like Martin Luther King, right? He has a couple of memorial statues that was built, you know, 50 to 100 years before, you know, he passed. So that would be the equivalent to what I'm referencing. So people can make memorials after the event had happened, as long as they have enough information to pass down. And
Yeah, but 200 years later, and we're talking about Jesus, though.
well, yeah, 200 years later, we're also talking about, you know, Abraham Lincoln as well, and we still have a memorial for him.
Right. But we also have signatures from Abraham Lincoln and personal correspondence letters and official documents. Like there's all kind of contemporary evidence for Abraham Lincoln. Other people talk about him. I mean, he's got everything. Like, where's any of that for Jesus?
Well, I have a lot of spiritual evidence, you know, for Jesus, but you wouldn't accept that. You know, I don't want to go there because you
Not,
wouldn't accept that.
yeah, no.
So
yeah,
I'm trying to
sorry,
speak your
not
language, you know.
interested in,
I'm trying
I
to
hear
speak your
you.
language.
We're definitely
I'm,
not interested in spiritual evidence.
I'm trying to speak your language.
I understand. Yeah.
Shit, dude. I'm honestly trying my best, right? The Megiddo
No,
Mosaic.
you
If that's not
know,
enough, I'd probably say,
no.
look, you can go to David's house or something like that, or you can go to the churches that are in Jerusalem right now that, you know, still has the same particular marking of where like Jesus ascended into heaven. You don't have to believe in any of that. Like, listen, I'm also a Christian. I'm also
Yeah,
a very
there's
skeptical
3
Christian.
tombs for Jesus in Jerusalem too. Which one do you think's the real one?
I mean, look, I'm a skeptic myself. Listen, I'm not like one of those people that just, you know, ride the church fathers' dicks all day.
You
I
said
just,
you use spiritual evidence, man.
well, okay, I know, right?
Spirit evidence. Come on.
Well, I just showed you the Our Lady of Zayatun, right? Did you look it up?
No.
Spirits are, look, my belief, right? Spirits are real, and I've seen it. I literally gave you the source to look up how
Yeah,
you
but
see a spirit looks
yeah, but
like.
that
You
don't
can
make
literally look it up.
Christianity's true though. That doesn't make the Bible true or God just. You know what I mean?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Okay, so let's do a test. Are spirits
Okay.
mentioned in the Bible?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. So that checks the box. The second question: is Mary a character in the Bible?
Sure.
Okay, so the Our Lady of Zayatun, right, shows
Which
picture
Mary
of
are you talking about exactly?
the Mary that gave birth to Jesus.
Okay, that one.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was the apparition that appeared on that Saint Coptic Orthodox Church. It showed a picture of a woman praying, and it was like a spirit-like form, and it
So a
happened
spirit
to
on a
be
church means
folding
Christianity
her
is true,
arms.
and Jesus was God, and Jesus died for sins.
Well, no,
Of,
that
of
proves that a spirit. I'm trying to justify the fact that spirits exist. I'm not getting to the part where it proves that
uh,
Jesus is God. I'm just justifying the
uh,
fact that it can.
how do you do data science?
Well, I look at all the evidence. I speak to people. I've interviewed people with lived experiences. I've done qualitative research where I've spoken to people. I haven't done the standard experimental studies where it's like, okay, you collect a bunch of samples and you know, you give a null hypothesis. I actually spoke with people and documented experiences, different religions as well. So I just don't have a blind belief. I don't have interest in any type of blind belief. I look at the archaeology, I look at the history. That's why I came up with
Yeah,
the
but
four
there's
step
not any
framework.
archaeology.
I just showed you.
Yeah, but
Um,
that's not that. It doesn't count if it's from 200 years later.
well,
Like
it's
clearly,
just,
people 200 years after Jesus there was tons of Christians. I mean, it only makes sense that they were making up stories as there's gospels later than that. So I mean, they were clearly still making stuff up about Jesus. But like, there's nothing from his lifetime at all. That I mean, there's just no archaeology in Jesus. There's no even accurate stories about the guy. Like even the Gospels, like I said, they just don't line up. They're clearly
Well,
making
you
things
know
up.
what they both mentioned? They both mentioned that Jesus was a healer, right? They both mentioned that he did many works. We also have the Babylonian Talmud, which is a document that said that it was from the Jews, right? They mentioned that Jesus was a sorcerer. So that lines
Yeah,
up
and it
with
says
biblical.
Jesus is in hell, boiling in his own excrement right now.
And you know what the thing about Jesus? Jesus is the only character respected by other religions. Do you notice that?
Other Abrahamic religions.
Well, yeah. And also I believe in Buddhists, right? I think some
Well,
of them
only one
recognize
other.
them.
Muslims respect Jesus as a prophet, but Jews think he's boiling in his own doo doo in hell right now. So he's not he's respected in what other religion?
Well,
It's pretty much the same thing.
there's a source somewhere that I'll have to look up. I believe the Buddhists, some of the Buddhist religious leaders, also refer to him as the reincarnation of Vishnu. I have to look up that source for you.
That's Hindu, man.
Yeah, Hindu. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Bhagavad
Well,
Gita.
they think everybody's got. They think all the gods are real in Hinduism. If you bring
Well,
them up, they think they're real in Hinduism.
well, yeah, the fact that there's just like two other religions that just like respect him is just an idea that okay, maybe we could just throw Christianity out. We can throw all the. Let's just stick with just Jesus. You know, like, was he real? And if he's having this much of an impact on society, I mean, we have,
That's a great question. Was he real? How do
yeah,
we figure out if he was real?
yeah, there's just way too much influence in other religions and not only just Christianity. It's just too much, like, to deny. I mean, we even have the most,
That's
if
not a good
Jesus,
argument. Like, how would you make like if you tried to prove Jesus was real with science? How would you do it?
the experimental study, you have to maybe look at the archaeology. I don't know. I mean,
Right?
look at
What
the writings about him.
archaeology? Yeah,
Look at you know, if he was mentioned in other texts before he lived, or this prophecy, right? We know that he was mentioned in other, the Son of Man was mentioned in other texts.
yeah, but
We
he
both
doesn't
know that.
actually fulfill a single one of these prophecies, and the New Testament wasn't even reading the prophecies properly because the ones it names sometimes they're not even prophecies, other times they're not even in the Bible, and 0% of the time they aren't. They're what they're actually saying they're about.
He didn't fulfill any prophecy, huh?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like when they say Jesus was born in Bethlehem, the only reason they were making that story up is because they was trying to make Jesus fulfilling a prophecy about being born in Bethlehem. But if you actually go read the prophecy that they're pulling that from, it's not about being born in Bethlehem. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. The New Testament didn't even know what it was talking about when it comes to the Old Testament.
Uh, I'm sure maybe you would argue the virgin birth prophecy
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's no prophecy about a virgin birth. That's the best
in
example in the whole
Isaiah. No.
Bible.
All right.
Yeah,
Just
no.
want to.
Isaiah 7's about that's a prophecy about a war. It's about the Assyrian invasion into Judah when King Ahaz was king. That's 750 years before Jesus. And it doesn't say anything at all about a Messiah. This child called Emmanuel, it doesn't say the child's a Messiah. It doesn't say the child's going to do anything at all. The child is only a timeline for when Judah is safe from Assyria. That's all it's about. That's it.
What's the last book of the Old Testament?
I think it's Haggai.
Haggai. All right, so I think in Haggai there was a particular last chapter. It was mentioned like a person named Joshua.
Yeah, okay.
So in Haggai, I gotta bring up that verse. Um, this is actually crazy. It talks about something that was very very related to Jesus and mentioned him. It referenced him.
Joshua didn't have anything to do with Jesus.
Well, you're right, but if you look at it in, let me see my code. Let me put that. Okay, 1996. Just pull up that exact page that I found it. In like 2 seconds. Just give me 2 seconds. 1996. 1996.
Adele?
Adele? How
96.
you doing, Miss Petrina?
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you brought me up. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, well, I didn't, I saw you flash on the screen. You popped up
Uh,
in the request box. I saw you.
yeah, do we have the same guest on here?
Yeah, yeah, same one.
Okay,
Been talking to him for a minute now.
I
He's
wanted
cool.
to mention something. He talked about that apparition of Mary as evidence,
Yeah.
right?
As
So,
evidence of not as evidence for God necessarily, but evidence
spiritual
for
evidence,
spiritual
right?
evidence. That's the best. I was trying to get him to acknowledge that the fact, like, if what I was trying to get to him was, if I can present to you some sort of spiritual evidence, will you give me the keys, right, to then start speaking about maybe more spiritual evidence that concerns the things of the spirit? That's the only thing I was trying to prove with that.
Right. So that's really not evidence, that apparition. Have you ever heard of the power of suggestion?
No, I have not. I'm ready to learn.
Okay, so the power of suggestion would be, for example, this is how I saw spiritual things when I was a Christian. So
Okay.
you're in a group of people, and let's say this apparition appears to one person, and they believe it so much, they're convinced of it so much, they're excited about it so much, and they're telling everybody there, look at this, look at this, look at this. Just like in a cloud, you look up in a cloud and he's telling everybody this cloud looks like the shape of a whale. You don't see it at first, but everybody else around you starts saying, I see it. I see it. Oh, yeah, I see it. You are convinced by the power of suggestion so much you begin to see it as well, even though you didn't see it before. But because so many people are saying, oh, I see it, you're convinced that it's there and your eyes will perceive what your mind is believing.
Okay, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know that happens in a lot of cases. But
Yeah.
the unique thing about the apparition of Zayatun was that it was actually taken from multiple different cameras. If you look at it online,
Yeah, I've
there's some, like,
researched it.
yeah, there's documentaries on it. There's actually some people that are still alive today that, you know, speak
Have
about
you
it.
looked up the evidence that debunked it?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Uh,
but there's very minimal though. I mean, I haven't
Not
seen
really.
any that was strong enough. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they just say that, oh, that was just light or that was just this and that, but it's literally recorded on people's cameras, right?
All
So
right. What did you say it was called again?
The lady of
oh,
what was the place?
Zayatoon, Zeitoun,
ZEIT. What?
Z E
Oh, never
I
mind. It pulled up.
Z E I T O U N,
Zeitoun.
Our Lady of Zayatoon. That's a church. It's a Coptic Orthodox church in Egypt. And by the way, uh, it's the Coptic. I believe the Coptic Orthodox Church was the first church to actually come out. So it's pretty unique that it happened in that situation.
Yeah. So that proves Jesus was alive 2,000 years ago.
Well, oh, look, I don't want to jump there, right? We have to take this step by step.
I thought that's what we was talking about.
We have to take, if I can present to you that some sort of spiritual evidence that spirits are real, can you then give me the keys to unlock maybe other uh, doors of evidence that concern spiritual things? That's the purpose of this conversation.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, I'm gonna have to say I'm a little sus about these pictures here.
Yeah,
You can
right?
you can laugh. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. Perfectly fine.
I mean, you know, I'm just saying, like, 68 to 71.
Okay, so let's take a look at it, right? Do you-
Well,
like
I mean,
we
we don't have to for real. I was just looking at the thing here. I mean, we're never gonna get anywhere. That's not a.
okay, but okay, can you grant me that spirits could be real? How about that?
Sure.
All right, beautiful.
Magically,
So
hypothetically, they could be real. Sure.
hypothetically,
I mean, they're certainly not realistically. I mean,
I mean maybe. I mean we don't want to go away from. I think it's safe to grant me that spirits could be real.
maybe. I don't see any reason to think they are. They've never been demonstrated to be anything other than figments of people's imaginations. Most
I mean
people are
there are
like, what
actually.
exactly is a spirit anyway? How would you even define it? Like, what exactly are we talking about?
I'm not just gonna pretend like I'm some sort of a psyche expert, right? But
That's what I'm
uh,
saying. Most people can't even properly define it, much less prove it's something
if
real and tangible. You know
if
what I
we can
mean?
examine it spiritually, I mean, I have other evidence of spirits as well, but I'm not willing to present to you anything that's in the 2000s. I don't want to be scrutinized of like Photoshop or anything like that. But I'll tell you
Well, I
that
mean,
if we look at it as just from physically, okay, a spirit physically, right, is a transparent being. If you just look at it spirit, if you just look at it physically, I mean,
a
I'm
transparent being.
yeah, that has no body, right? It's just no body, just transparent. Just, if you just look at it spiritually, I'm sorry, not spiritually, physically, okay, with our own eyes, it's a it's a being that we can see
Transparent?
through. They have no body. It's the same like you, right? You have a body, right? Spirits don't. They
That
lack. It's a lack
that
of
would
a
be
body.
invisible, right? Though that transparent means you can see through it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They have a body, but just not a physical body. If we look at it just right, just in a physical way, that's the only physical description, right? Because I want to speak your language. It's just
A
it's
physical
a
description with no physical description, like this makes no sense, man.
but yeah, it's just simply someone's a human. Just call it a entity, right?
Do I have
That
that
has no
backwards?
body.
This is
That's all.
transparent, man.
You have blood, you have veins, you have heart. Spirits don't.
Wait, translucent means you can see through it. Transparent
Translucent.
stops light.
Stop. I'm sorry. Yeah, translucent. Whatever the case is.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
to get back to
I felt like that
my
was backwards, but I
science.
couldn't remember. I'm
Yeah, I
less
got.
dyslexic.
Okay. Without me getting to there, right? That if you see on the image of Zayatun, right? That's literally what you see. You can literally see through that person, right? And you can see a little angel, little circle on her head. If you
Transparent.
look at the X-ray type images and all
So I
that.
just looked this
I'm reading
up,
that
and
wrong
the
as fuck.
original photos are just a blur, just a light blur. All the ones that show her face and any type of features have been heavily edited.
There's no image that shows her face.
There are some. I'm looking at them right now.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, I don't know
The
about
original
that.
image, no,
So.
don't go with the edited images. Go with the ones that
Right. So
are original.
the original they're saying is a negative. It says that. Let me find out here real quick. Many of the most popular photos of the apparition are inverted negative images, causing the bright light of the apparition to stand out against the background. So somebody
Okay.
had inverted a negative.
Okay. That's yeah, send me the source for that. I'm interested in taking a look at that.
Sure.
But you have to send it in the DM.
I mean, pictures of light blurs though from the 1970s seems pretty desperate if you think that's proof of something like this.
I mean, we have people that are even today alive today that are affected,
That's
right,
what I'm
by it.
saying. Like, you might
That's
as
the
well
thing.
think of like a blurry picture of Bigfoot's. Like, Jesus or something. It makes the same amount of sense to me, honestly.
And listen, that's not the only spirit that I've seen. So you like me being able to accept Our Lady of Zayatun is not too far
Well, you
fetched
didn't
from
see
what
that
I've.
spirit technically. You just saw a picture of a light blur that vaguely resembles the outline of what could be Vision, maybe as Mother Mary in some sort of attire.
Yeah. If you want to look at it skeptically, sure, you could say that it's a light blur. We have hundreds of people who just say it's a light blur. I understand. You have to be skeptic whenever you look at things. I mean, that's very normal of us
Right.
human beings to want to associate what we see in reality with what we already known to have seen. It's very, very normal. And I think that what I'm trying to get to is just, okay, how do we look maybe a little bit outside of that? And maybe
So,
there could be some things that are outside of our reality that we can't explain as humans. Right? That's
hey,
the only thing I'm trying to
Apostate,
get to.
do you mind if I
Picture.
jump in here with a little bit of photography history?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you
So
have
the
any
thing
history in film?
the thing shitty with this is that in the 70s and 60s, even the 50s,
Sure.
cameras started to become very widely accessible. And so people started doing photography tricks, right? Like how we do today. That was
Okay.
kind of starting the boom in all of that. So that's where
It's
all
kind of
of
like
that
a
kind of
dog
stems
hanging down
from.
there.
And this has been happening since we've developed pictures.
This is the original. It's a blur, a blob.
Looks something like kind of a little perverted to me, honestly.
So you guys know how on Reddit like has really skeptics there? Has a lot of skeptics like Reddit. So
Yep.
you definitely want to look up the Reddit posts of how other skeptics view it too. And I personally I do look at those skeptics too. Right? It's actually like based off of what I'm seeing, right? It's been accepted by non-Christians as well. Right? Just based off of what I'm seeing from the
I don't
skeptics.
know
You can
why
say that.
it would be, because that's just ridiculous. I just showed you the picture of a white blob.
Did you
How
show
they
me?
can
Okay.
Yeah,
say
that didn't
that,
even look like Mary. It would have looked more like Mary to
yeah.
me if it was the other way around. Like if
And
it was
this is
thin
the
at the
original. I
top and then
pulled up
got
the
wide at the
original
bottom.
by Mr. Waggy Riz. He has a collection
I
of
don't think we have.
photos.
I don't think we have. Yeah.
The other thing is that we can take a picture, right? Like if someone takes a picture of me and then does something to it, that can still be the original image, right? It might just be different. I might look different. People can do things with film or even non-film, like glass plates and whatnot, that original photography started on. They can do stuff to that. Same with and I think it's called analyzing or analoging or something like that with metals, where you can imprint an image onto metal and then you can also like etch things in there so that way it changes the original image itself. But it is the original image.
Good point.
You have documentation proving that that's the only image. I don't think that's not the only image. You showed me the one that with the blob, but you didn't show me the one where it had her hands like folded and with the halo and the head. There's
Oh,
also an
that
image.
don't exist. Like that's
That's
what
that's
she
what I'm
was saying a minute
saying.
ago. She's saying every picture like
Yeah,
that's clearly debunked.
edited. Yeah, every
Yeah.
picture that has details have been edited.
No, there was no
They couldn't have
details on
done
it.
that.
You only
If
They
showed
you
me
couldn't have done
seen
personally.
that at the
hands,
time.
if
All
you
those are
seen
from way
hands, it was
later.
details.
Yeah, because you don't. I understand you from your skeptic perspective. Like I'm telling you, if you just go to the Reddit posts, you see all the critics. I promise you, right? Even literally, if you just read them, there's some non-Christian witnesses as well there too. So I just want to let you know that I'm
Well, I
also
went to the
approaching it from.
original.
I'm just letting you know that I've approached it from the
It
skeptical
was just a
perspective. That's all
picture
I'm
though.
saying.
No, that wasn't like something that the crowd saw necessarily.
Yeah, it's been seen by over 500 people.
That's Paul in the Bible. That's not that story.
No. The thing has
No,
been
there
seen by
is a
over
story
500
that
people,
there was 500 people that went there and saw it at the same time.
and there's
So they
people today
saw
that
the
are
white
alive.
blob and then took a picture.
So that's
There's
the power of
photo.
suggestion I was telling you about. When
The
those
other
people
thing
got
is
there,
the other thing is with film, as soon as like okay, old-timey film, as soon as it's exposed to light, it imprints on the film, right? Just like chemically. If you do this with a really old Polaroid, it's how Polaroids develop. Whenever you shake them in light, that's why you need the light. old cameras were like this until very, very recently in modern day, whenever we started with DSLR and stuff and like mirror cameras and whatnot, digital cameras.
I promise you, I promise you, right? Skeptics are like they're always gonna be there, right? And I look at them, I listen to you guys too. I promise you, I listen to you, right? Every single skeptic says that. I promise you, this is not the first time I heard that, right? I mean, if you just look at the image from how it is, and also look at other people's perspectives, I understand. Like, there's also people saying non-Christians that witnessed it. I mean, I'm not trying to tell you
I
that
just
you're
don't
wrong.
like,
I'm just trying to tell you
if
that
that was completely unexplainable, I just don't see how you get to, I believe that was Mary. Like, I mean,
Power of suggestion, like I said.
well,
that's just crazy. Yeah.
well, number one is it appeared like the Coptic Orthodox Church came out in 425 AD, and that was a St. Coptic Orthodox Church. So if it came out, it's one of the earliest churches.
400 years after Jesus.
Yeah. So if it came out on a object that symbolizes Christianity, and it also showed an image of a womanly figure, and people had experiences about it, you can conclude and put the pieces together. It wasn't me that approved the apparition. It was the St. Coptic Orthodox Church and the church fathers that approved the apparition. It wasn't me.
Of course they did.
Yeah. But they've also disproved other apparitions as well, especially like that silly one with the statue. You guys heard of that one with the blood?
Like the Shroud of Turin?
Yes,
like
I
that
know what
too.
you're talking about.
I don't believe in
the statue
the
the statue that cries blood.
Yeah, I was about to say, and then they found out
hoax.
that another statue that cried of Mary was actually a leaking toilet after people had kissed it and been drinking the water and everything. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The majority of people can believe a lie and complete nonsense and literally drink shit water, and you'll believe it, and that's fine.
Because
that's A-okay,
they want to confirm their belief so much that they will believe anything. The guy walks around the Catholic Church with this hard blood inside this glass vase thing, and it doesn't have any type of liquid form.
Oh, wait, one second. Before you continue, you know that I don't believe in that, right? I just want to make sure you understand. I don't believe in any of those.
So you don't believe in a crying statue, but you believe in an image with a blob? What the fuck type of logic is that?
That's kind of what I was thinking, though.
I mean, it's on camera, right? So I
It's
don't have to
all
argue.
a moneymaker.
It's a physical statue in front of us.
You have no evidence showing anyone that made any profit off of that picture.
Yeah, they make money. What are you talking about?
There's no
in the
evidence
second century, they started making money off saying that the saints were buried around there, and people could buy a burial plot next to the saints if they had enough money.
So
they would make a man go around town standing on a soapbox telling people, if you're going to hell or if you have family members in hell, you pay so much money and you can get out, and we can get your loved ones out too. It's nothing but been a money maker since the beginning of time. What are you talking about?
Okay, so I have another.
Hold on, Chitty. Hold on, Chitty. Hold on. I want to take a step back from this and look at like the big picture right now with what you're saying right now, Chitty. You just said, I don't believe in any of that, and I need proof that people aren't making money off of this, and people are making money off this and stuff like that. You need proof of that, but you don't need more proof with this picture. What? Do you hear yourself right now?
I have a skeptic.
Sir, you are not a skeptic in the slightest.
I promise you, I am.
You can promise me everything until the cows come home. That doesn't mean that the cows are coming home.
First. I listen to skeptics first. I promise you.
No, you don't, honey. And that's okay.
Oh, yes.
It's okay.
I'm on your side. Believe me.
You're not, and that's okay.
Because there's if you look at the apparition, there's like you hear like on different Reddit and sources, Quora, that is just hardcore skeptics. They say it's been very hard to argue the authenticity of the apparition. There's been investigators, but there's no evidence of forgery. I hear that like all the time.
I mean, you can say it's a real picture of a real light bulb. It just like just getting to that's Mary is. That's just crazy to me.
No, you don't have to say it's Mary, sure. You don't have to say that it's Mary.
Listen to yourself right now. How are we as humans supposed to go back and investigate a situation where an image was taken? listen to yourself right now.
About what?
Oh my God.
But you're saying it's Mary from the Bible, though.
No. You don't have to say. Listen, that's
Does
just
it
based
happen
off of the
anymore?
apparition. That's
Does it
just the
happen
apparition.
still today?
It does, yeah. But here's the thing: you're not going to believe it. So let's go with the one that's proven to not been.
We don't have a reason to believe it. We have a whole bunch of reasons to believe it's not her.
Well,
That's what
I
Right,
want to
right,
know
right.
why it's not being caught today.
No, there
If it's
has.
true.
But the thing is, you're not going to believe it. It's not true. It's not true. You're not going to think that it's real. That's the
Well,
problem.
no,
There's no
listen.
reason
If
to
it's
believe it.
really there, I don't have to believe it. I know that it's there if it's really there. Belief is believing in something without any type of evidence. But when
Right.
you
Like
know something, it's because it's really there. So if I went over there and if it was really there, even if I didn't believe or not, if I saw it, I'd be like, yeah, it's here.
And I've even spoken to some people with my lived experiences, right, of seeing apparitions and things like that. Like I've heard a lot of stories. It's not just apparitions that God
It's like he's
appears
not
to you
even
in.
hearing what we're saying at all at this point.
How? I'm listening to you wholeheartedly.
I mean,
darling.
I think he does. He just grazes past it.
No, I am looking at the
Yeah,
skeptics.
like
I
he
am
hears
looking at
us
the skeptics.
speaking and like will wait for us to finish and then is like, so as I was saying, like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
He's acknowledging it. Yeah.
No. I did listen. I already debunked. I said that this with your evidence saying that okay, this is just camera tricks. I said I heard a lot of people say that, but then I'm also looking at the skeptic sites and saying
So
okay,
repeat
but
it.
these
What I
people
would-
did. There's
Yeah, but we
it's
can't
hard
even
to
get past
deny
the
it.
Gospels. Like, if the Gospels aren't even reliable, a photo from the 1900s isn't going to be reliable about them. You know what I mean? Like, there's no.
Well, I
link
think
there at all.
I think it could maybe show a little bit more clarity about the Gospels. Maybe it shows us that God is with us in some way, shape, or form. He wants to show us that He's not. Maybe He's not able to access us because
So that's how
whatever
God
reason.
does it. A vague photo of a light blob from the 1970s.
I mean, she only showed us the blob. I mean, whatever.
It
I mean,
is
there's
just a
couple
blob.
there's
I
a
mean,
couple
we saw
different
the
images.
picture, like, Petrina,
All right.
put that picture up there again. Let me big screen it. And
Can you show the one with the face and the hands, please?
Okay,
The
hold on.
blob was the second picture.
Well, we
blob
know
was
that the
second
picture.
face
I'm gonna-
and the hands one has been edited.
Well, the entire refutation that I've heard has been, well, yeah, skeptics say that. There hasn't actually been like, and this is how it's being like actually true. What?
Show the one with the face.
oh my gosh, look at that.
And
This
even
is
if
the
I grant you,
original.
even if you don't want to show the other image, that's fine.
How
But
in the
if
world
we
does
look
that
at that,
look like Mary? Like,
That's
that
a
doesn't even look
blob.
like a human figure.
It looks like a
It looks
temple
like
with a blob
matchstick
sticking out.
or an upside down cock hanging is what it looks like.
Okay, can I be
But
honest?
what is it?
It
What
kind
do
of
you?
looks like a king cobra coming out of a temple. But like if you took a picture of a temple and then put like an image of a king cobra in the back of it and like weirdly saturated the opacity of it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it looks like a dragon coming out or like a
But
plume
what is it though?
of Moksei.
I feel incredibly horny right now. That's how I feel looking at this.
Oh god.
Can you
That
show the
thing
other
has
image?
some
Hold on,
girth. Let me tell you,
can you show
that
the-
is some girth right
Can
there.
you show
It
the
has
other image?
texture
girth.
too. Do you see the bottom of it? That's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
real
Could you-
texture.
Oh yeah.
Could you show the other image?
What other image
What
are you
other
talking
image?
about? Because I pulled
Just
up the
type-
original. I wanted the original.
Yeah, the first image. But you look at the other ones too. Scroll
What's
through the other
odd
ones.
is that you can clearly see a defined head. Like that's what's getting me. After you said it was upside down, I'm like, oh, I can see it now.
Yeah. But why don't we take a look at the
forgot
other
about
ones
that.
as well? The one with the face on the top of the because a lot of people saw it on top of the church building. So the one with the on top of the church building, why don't we assess that? If you think
Chitty.
let's look at it.
So far, the
Not that one. No, not that one. That's the edited. Not
That
that
has
one.
a face. You said the one
Not
with
that
the
one.
face.
That's not the one I'm talking about.
Oh,
That's the edited version. What I'm talking about the original one.
I ain't gonna lie, Chitty. If that's Mary, she looking like a big cock.
That's the edited version though. Why are you pointing to me the edited version? That's the
You said the
clearly
one with
edited
the
version.
face, so that's the one I found with the face.
No, just type it. If you just type it on Google, just the first image that pops up, that's the one I'm talking about with the halo.
You see these extra long fingers on the Shroud of Turin right here?
I see you're running from the one.
That's that
I
hand. They
see.
made those fingers longer so that covers up that gigantic dong that I feel like is
I
that
never.
white
Yeah.
thing in there now. They would look just like that. If you move that hand, that's what you would see there.
No, the one that's close up. That's the one that's a little bit too far. The one that's more close up. There's another image
Well,
that
I
someone
don't
took
know
the
which
picture.
one you're talking about.
Honey, I think
Let me
that was
see.
the picture that she shown first that you told her, no, that's not it. I think you're starting to lose track of your images because they're all bullshit. Personally.
No. I have a close up one. Just if you type in Our Lady of Zayatun on Google, you'll see it's like the third. It should be the third one where it's just like it kind of looks like a halo on top of her head.
Of course, it looks like a halo on top of her head. Come on.
I know you
Wasn't
don't
that
believe
the
it.
last
I know
two
you don't believe
images
it.
that she showed you as
That does
well?
not-
Because
that
I'm
looks
pretty
like
sure
a
they both had
torch, like-
halos. Like, what are you saying
Okay.
right now, Chitty?
Let me see if I can get the image.
Damn.
Okay, this is the one I would be referring to.
No. That's
This is the one.
garbage.
This is the one.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's the one I'd be referring to.
How do you know that's not Muhammad?
It might be Moses, to be honest.
You see this. If you look at it, I mean, it's interesting. I'm not going to tell you that.
I feel like it was Herod, actually.
And then here's another
Is
one.
this the one? Is this the one you're talking about?
Hold on, can you see my screen?
Not Herod.
No, we can't see your screen.
Herod the Great.
Okay.
He's the greatest.
No, not that. Why do you keep
Truly,
pulling up the edited?
truly.
Why do you keep pulling up the edited images? The
That's
clearly
not.
edited images.
How do I know which one's real and which one's edited? Because they're all edited. Come on.
Let me share my screen.
That's clearly Herod.
You're only pulling up the edited ones because you want to prove a point. I get it, but
No,
I want to show
I'm
you the
not.
actual image.
I'm actually looking for what you said.
It's literally
no.
King Herod. Like,
Can you allow me
I
to?
showed when I typed in the Lady of Zaytun
Herod was
photos.
real. There's archaeological evidence for Herod. We know he was real.
This is the one that
That's
I'm
who it's
talking to.
really
Can you allow me to share
No,
my screen?
you have to click on your video camera, and then click save
Okay.
at the bottom.
Oh shit. How do I do this?
These are the
Hit
four
save.
pictures that popped up. Every picture I showed is the ones that popped up as soon as I typed
Okay,
in
how about
the
this?
pictures.
How about this? Can you like hit like next and keep going until we get to the right one, if possible?
I think your God doesn't want you to show us.
Or
God's
if you
like,
do that,
no,
that would
don't
be
show
very
us.
helpful.
I'm clicking on
what's
images here. All right, I clicked on images, and I'm going to show you all the images that came up.
Yeah, like I know there was ones that are clearly edited to show people like a little bit more in detail of probably how it might have looked like. Of course.
Trying to
Yeah, that's
do it
the one.
without the glare here.
Yeah. Okay. Left. Yeah, that one. The one
This
on.
one
Yeah,
here?
those two. Yeah, the top one and the bottom one. Yes.
This one here.
Yes, ma'am.
Now notice there's a glow around all of this. This is called one of those negatives that was inverted because there's
Precisely.
this glow
Can you show me
around
an image?
everything.
Can you show me a reciprocal image of the similar glowing?
When you revert a negative, yeah, hold on.
Yeah. Do you have like any like similar images?
Hold on, wait,
You know
wait,
them
wait, hold
halos
on.
around? Those
Chitty, hold
halos around their head like that? That's from Byzantine art too. By
I
the
get
way.
it. I get
So
it. You don't believe in
you're
angels.
getting a
I get it.
photograph of
Chitty,
Byzantine art styles.
Hold on, honey.
If anything,
Patricia,
she
do
wants
you
to
mind
speak.
turning back on your camera? Because there was a good example right beside that last picture. It's of a different picture, but it has what he's asking for.
I have more evidence for you guys. I mean, if you want to take
One
a look at
second.
it, but let's talk about
Nope.
this one.
Which one did you want?
Just the same screen that was the last time, please.
This one here? This one? Oh,
I can't
sorry, I
see
didn't.
the
There
This
we go.
one?
And now go out a little bit to where it shows like all of the images. Because
Oh,
Chitty, you said that you wanted evidence that this happens on other photos. Right there.
The
Our
one below
Lady of
that,
the
yeah,
Night
the
right
one below
beside
that.
it. Yeah, see
The
how
one
it's
below
all
that. Yes,
glowing
yes,
right
yes,
there?
yes. That one
And in the
is.
top right, the one right beside it, the one right below it, like all of these have that glowing, and that's
that glowing.
because of negatives.
Yep. Reverted negatives.
Whenever you take
Not
a
to mention
picture like that
that's
at
literally
night,
Byzantine art. Those halos are
Do you see those
Byzantine
people?
art
Do
styles.
you see like all those people there on the floor? Like all those people's eyes. That's their reactions.
Yeah, of course. That's the power of suggestion. Do you see it? No. Come on, you know you got to see it. It's right there. Oh, okay, I see it.
And some people tried to make
Ridiculous.
like it came out on news and all that, like the newspaper as well. Like people tried to decipher it as well.
the
So
news
you
also
see,
reports on dolphins swimming in the ocean, having a commotion because they are so awesome. Like, what are we talking about right now with the fucking
You're a
news?
poet and didn't know it.
Here's my actual reaction to the shroud.
Yeah, like, and you act like they
Proves
didn't
it's real.
take a picture at like a concert or at like a political event or whatever, and then just be like, oh, this was their events. Like, what the fuck?
if there's evidence to support that, then maybe, yeah.
There's no evidence to support that your image is real. Your logic
I
is
mean,
very inconsistent, Chitty.
what evidence would you accept?
Well, not only that, if this was real, okay, and
Well,
if it was
what evidence
really
would you
happening
accept?
today, this would be all over the news. The news would
It
be
was.
broadcasting everywhere.
I would
It was
accept
all over the
consistent
news.
It wasn't.
logic. That's what I
Then
would
what
accept.
was on the news was people were seeing something, even though the news broadcasters didn't see it. They were recording the people saying they saw something. There wouldn't be no doubt. There wouldn't be no skepticism if this
It's
was
hard.
really real,
It's like I
right?
And it
said.
certainly doesn't make the Bible true. Like either way, the Gospels are still false.
So
Like
if
they
it's
can't
Saint
be
Mary,
right.
let's say you said grant me if it's real, right? You said grant me, right? So grant me if it's real, and that's what Saint Mary. How is that not going to prove that the Gospels are real? If it's Saint Mary as an apparition that
If we
appears,
grant you the miracles, you might as well grant that it's true. You're saying just grant me that it's true. Like that don't make any sense, man.
yeah. If I see a picture of Mary show up in my living room today,
It's like, just grant
are you
us
gonna
that it's
believe?
false. Just grant us that it's all false.
If it's all false, I mean, that's a question with the question.
Just grant us though. If you just grant that it's false, it's all false, right?
If I grant you that it's false, we can
like
okay. If I grant you that, if I grant you that, even the hardcore skeptics online that say that it's false, let's just say that they're wrong, right? Those skeptics, then we can also look at other pieces of evidence as well, right?
Sir, I wish that you
How
would
about
just
the
apply
Gospels?
that threshold of logical proof and logical evidence with the same picture. Like, I really wish you would just do that.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean by that? Can you explain a little bit more better?
You need proof for X, but you don't need proof for B. It doesn't make sense.
Can you give me like a demonstration of that? I want to make sure I get it.
You don't
properly.
need proof that X exists, but you need proof that B exists. That what we're saying is true, but what you're saying is just false. Like basically what I said that backwards. Sorry. What you're saying is that you need irrefutable proof that what we are saying is true with your picture that it's false. And what we're saying is that no, this is false until it's proven to be true. And all you're saying is, well, just grant me that it is true. Just grant me that it is true. And we're like,
okay, I see what you mean. Okay, so if there's newspapers about it and there's images with pictures online, right, about it.
Newspapers
right?
and images can report on whatever they want. That's what we're saying to you.
Okay, so it's all a hoax. Somebody did it to pull someone's leg and make money.
Yep.
Okay,
Good
so that's
job.
what you.
Now
Okay,
you're getting
fair.
it. Yep.
Fair enough. That's your position. I completely understand that, right? You're not the only one, right? So there's people that skip. I told you, there's been skeptics, same as you, that's saying it's hard to disprove what it is. Some of them will tell you that it's just light, right? When it clearly takes form of an apparition, you can see through that person that was
It's
on that
clearly
thing.
just a blob of light.
Light
There's
takes
no
form
way
of
to
apparitions
identify
all the
an
time.
actual person in there. Even if it was a person, how do you know it was Mary? How do you identify the person?
Well, I don't know. It's a woman praying on her hands with her hands, whatever the case may be, and it appeared
So
on
if I
top
have
of
a
the
friend
topic
who's
of their
named
church.
Mary who's praying on her
I
hands
wasn't
and
finished
knees,
yet,
does
though.
that make
I
her
wasn't finished yet.
Mary?
I wasn't
Well,
finished
man,
yet.
that's what.
That's great.
Okay.
Okay. If Jesus appeared in front of your living room right now, would you believe in Jesus?
Yeah, I have a friend named Jesus. I call him Jesus
Okay.
sometimes. What about him?
If Yeshua appeared in front of your room right now, right?
Yeah, if he
Would you
appeared in here
believe that
right
you're?
now and told me that's who he was, I would believe it and convert right now.
No. But you told me that even if you knew he was real, you'd still think he's an asshole. Did you not?
I just asked how you identified the person in the photograph.
Outside of what the Coptic Orthodox tried to confirm, right? I think it was a prophecy that happened. Let me see
So a
something real
church
quick.
said it was Mary, so you believe
Let me.
that
I
it
gotta look
was
into more detail, and I'll
Mary
come back
from
to you later on
2,000
that.
years ago in the photograph from the 1900s.
I'll look at. I think it was a prophecy that came out like from someone building the church, and they're saying that Mary would appear or something like that in the vision. I think you can fact check me,
Prophecy.
but it was some prophecy that was mentioned by a previous church father saying I was gonna be like. I think it was something like Mary came to somebody in a vision, similar to what happened to Paul, right? Because we know that he never met Jesus. We know that Paul never met Jesus. So, but he saw Jesus in a vision. So similar to this thing happened to an Orthodox church father where, Mary came to her in a vision and said, okay, if, build this church or something like that. And then it built the church and then she actually appeared. I think that's the story about what it was, but you can fact check me. I could be wrong, but I read it before and I lost the source that I found it on, but
So
it was possibly
you basically just believe the church when they say that was Mary in the photograph.
well, no. It was a
That's
prophecy.
what I'm hearing.
It was a prophecy in a vision, like
That's what
Paul.
it says. That's what it.
So again, Chitty, if
So it was a prophecy
someone,
in a vision, and that made it Mary.
yeah, exactly. Like if I have a friend named Mary or a friend named Yehoshua or a friend named Abraham or whatever the fuck you want to pull out from the Bible, and they come to me telling me their story, the
That's so
exact
funny.
same thing in the Bible, do you just expect people to be like, oh yeah, that's real? No, you wouldn't even believe that.
Okay, so were you here when I was?
Why are we acting like you would?
Were you here when I was discussing about? I wouldn't, but to answer your question,
There
but
you go.
Were you here?
Wait, right there. You just said I wouldn't. Therefore, why are you trying to apply a different standard to us?
Okay, so
You
I don't know
can't
if you
do
were
that.
here.
That is where it is logically inconsistent and you keep losing us. You're applying a different standard to yourself other than us. And to
Okay.
us, you're saying, no, this has to make sense even if it doesn't make sense to me. No, that's not how that works.
Okay. So I don't know if you were here when I was discussing about my
You just keep
five-step framework.
you just literally do not acknowledge anything anyone says to you. You just keep going with what you're saying, don't you?
Okay. Can we rephrase that once more? Like you had like a gotcha moment. I know what you said.
No,
but can you just rephrase that again?
No. I'm gonna need you to listen to someone else's voice besides yours for once, okay?
Okay. I'm listening.
There you go. Respond.
Okay. All right. So I don't know if you were here when
Jesus
we were discussing
Christ.
about the
Second time. Actually fourth, if I'm actually keeping count.
Are
I'm
you
telling you,
responding?
I'm gonna just start keeping count at this point. That's 4.
Are you okay? I'm just gonna be patient until you have said everything you want to say. I'm gonna listen. I'll take notes if you want me to.
I already did. I'm waiting on you to respond. I asked you a question.
Okay. So you said like if someone just said this happened, would you believe them? Something
Nope.
like that.
That's not what I said.
Okay. Can you? So I'll take notes this time, right? What
Jesus
you said. I want to make
fucking
sure I
Christ.
really get you. Like
This
that I got
is
you.
why I don't.
I got my pen and paper out.
Should have been there in the first place, bud.
Okay, I got my pen. What are you gonna say? I'm listening.
You can think back. It's okay. You have a brain.
Okay, so if you don't remember, that's fine. But
I do.
The 5-step
I remember
framework,
what I
the
said.
5-step framework.
You don't have to project your bullshit onto me because you can't listen to a woman speak. That is not my problem.
Oh no, I love women. I have many
No,
sisters.
you don't. Stop lying.
No, I have many
God does
sisters.
not like
They're
liars,
nurses.
and you have lied through this
No,
entire
no,
conversation.
no. I have
Now,
sisters
okay,
and
great.
brothers.
If you love
No.
women, respond to what I said.
Respond to what you said
Yep. I asked you a
about
question.
what?
Now answer it.
About what, ma'am?
My point proven. You don't listen.
Okay, but I said I'm going to take notes.
Nope.
So you don't want me to take notes on what you're going to say?
You should have listened the first time because I made it very clear.
Okay, so you never had someone asking to repeat a question again?
I've done this multiple times with you. We've had to repeat the same thing this entire time, and you still don't get it.
I will be your student for the next 5 seconds.
Ew.
I have a pen and piece of paper out.
I would rather you just listen in the first place.
Okay. What score did I get on the test?
And see, that's your problem. That's your problem right there, Chitty.
Pretty
You're a
bad,
piece of
pretty
shit.
bad.
You're a total piece of shit, dude. You don't respect women. You don't like women. You are like entirely oblivious to this entire conversation. You have zero self-awareness and you lack any sort of critical thinking whatsoever. You call yourself a skeptic? No, you're not a skeptic in the slightest. You stick to
Okay.
ideas like gum on hot pavement.
I respect your opinions. I respect your opinions.
No, that's a fact.
Well, that's what the whole conversation, like, you'll acknowledge what we're saying and then you move right past it.
No,
Like,
I
you just-
fully acknowledge what she's saying. I mean, the claim where she's talking about the women, me not liking women, that's kind of a stretch. But I was trying to move back to the 5-step framework of history, archaeology, data.
You're trying to revise
experiences,
history.
and-
Wow,
and-
you just
and-
said it.
and
You're
scripture.
trying to revise history. Well done.
Well, that's how I believe in the scripture, right?
You revise scripture because you don't like it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I'm literally just repeating what you said to me. What you said. Sorry, not directly to me.
Come on, the Knicks won, bro.
Jay, I gotta drop
listen,
you. You got a violation.
I know. Fuck TikTok.
I love you though. I love you though.
It wasn't even that bad. Oh my
I
goodness.
was fully engaged in listening to exactly what she was going to say. I had my notes out.
I
could
know
show
you
my
feel
notes.
like you was listening, but the words you've been saying this whole time doesn't actually show that. Like, you've been cordial and you're speaking plainly and kindly, but like, it's like I said, like, you're acknowledging what we're telling you, but then you just go right past it to the same point again. Like,
No, I acknowledge it, but without agreeing. That's the thing. So you want me to agree with you? I saying I can't necessarily agree without evidence. Like, for example, she said one of the things she said was like, okay, this
that's
thing
what
was
she
used
was telling
for.
you. She's like, you're insisting on all this crazy levels of evidence for one thing, and then dismissing them for that. That's what.
Okay,
she's
so
talking
what's
about.
one thing that I accepted for this, but dismissed for something else? Her claim was that
That's
the
what
image.
she already explained to you. That's why she lost her shit a little bit, because you're not listening. Like, it's already been explained multiple times in this conversation. You've been
Okay,
on it
let's
for a
take
long
let's
time.
take a breather. Let's take a breather.
Like
One
I
second.
said, if this was real, it would be all over the news today, blasting it everywhere, right?
Okay. Yes.
The only thing on the news is the people that are believing it, not the apparition itself.
Right, but okay, I understand that, right? But if you look at it from another angle, the truth sometimes remains hidden for people to come seek it out. Because, for example, let's just say this was true and it's all over the news. Do you really think that let's just say the news said it was true. Do you really think that will be acceptable in other religions, right? Don't you think that will cause like a mass convert or a mass war or something like that?
It
So why wouldn't you
doesn't. It
think?
doesn't matter.
Heck no.
It doesn't matter if it's
Why wouldn't
true.
you think?
If there's a Canada fire going on, a mass forest fire or California fire, what have you, and it's all over the news, people that are there are standing in front of it in the camera saying, "Look, it's behind me," and people believe it because they see it, right?
Sure.
They
I mean,
show
because
the fire itself.
well,
So there's
because they have
no
it on
way
camera,
to
yeah.
deny it or doubt it because
Right.
it's there.
Right.
But we don't have that with this apparition.
Well, yeah, it's been taken on a couple different cameras, right? We've seen it filmed. We've seen it
No.
documentaries on this. We've seen
No.
we've seen people today that are alive that have lived experience through it, right? So I don't know
So
what else you would
those
want.
people that are alive today
Sorry,
that
hold on just
witnessed
a
it.
second. Chitty, hold on just a second. And this new guest has been waiting for quite a while in the queue there. Elias, I think, or Elias, something like that.
I
Are
gotta
you
go to
there?
church.
I
Hey, what's up,
yeah,
man?
no,
Are
I was
you
just wait. I was just
are
waiting
you a
for them.
Christian?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Chitty, thanks for talking to us. We're gonna let Ellis get a
Appreciate
word
you.
in here for a minute.
Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
no problem, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Ellis, which one of the questions you want to answer there?
I'm hold on, let me read Christians God. Anyone you want me to answer, to be honest, I'm here to just listen and try to give the best information that I can. Which anything you want me to specifically answer for you before I
Well, I mean, either one you feel like you're most drawn to or qualified to speak on, whatever.
Oh, well, all right. Does it buy? Well, I mean, I do apologetics, so like, okay, but what I used to, is the Christian God just? Well,
Yeah.
this, man, this is a very, well, to me, I believe that God is infallible, meaning that God is not subject to error, right?
So does that mean he's just or not just?
Well, you see, if you're subjected to a mistake, that means that like, you know, like the moral perfection will be like, you know, like if God is moral perfection, then it would exude justice, right?
I don't know. I just mean, I say God is unjust because he punishes innocent people for crimes they didn't commit, and the punishments don't match the crime. And sometimes he just goes on murdering sprees because he's offended, even though there wasn't an actual crime committed.
I'm glad this is what I wanted you to say. Like what parts of the Bible is making you feel as if God is unjust? Like which?
Well, the parts where he punishes innocent people for things they didn't do. He even says it's unjust, like to punish the son for the iniquity of the father. He says it's unjust.
So like, would you say that the Great Flood was unjust?
Yeah, because he punishes innocent people for things they didn't do. There's no standard of justice that says punishing innocent people is justified. That's the whole against the entire principle of justice.
Okay, so you know the story in the Bible about the Amalekites?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in 1 Samuel 15, yeah. Yep, you're teacupped if you didn't know, Elias.
If you swipe away from the app, it mutes you and we can't hear you.
Sorry. Yeah, I was mess. Yeah. Do you know what? So the
you was trying
Amalekites
to go to
were
the
Amalekites
story.
were pagan. They were pagan. They were a pagan religion. So meaning that they did not want to follow the teachings, or should I say, in your worldview, the teachings of Adam and Eve that has passed down through generations. So the Amalekites were basically believing that in child sacrifice, believing in their own gods. They were
Where does it
evil.
say that?
It's in historical context. I was actually gonna pull
Where
it up
does it
for
say
you.
it in the Bible? Yeah, which
Well,
chapter and verse does it say that?
When they went to basically you have a lot of history from different civilizations that wrote about others, and the Amalekites had also manuscripts. And you know, so like it's not like you're not gonna find everything in the Bible, but you can look into archaeology and history. If like, but I mean, this is
Well,
obviously
the
not an
passage in the
education.
Bible doesn't say they got wiped out because they were doing child sacrifice. It says they got wiped out for
No.
what they did in opposing Israel when they came up out of Egypt.
Correct. So okay, so two things. They were crossing behind the Red Sea to kill God's people. Okay. And so God basically told them to defend themselves. But what I was trying to give you is a more understanding of who they were. They were a pagan religion. Okay, so they were not good people. They were not like the Israelites.
Well,
at
they
the
wasn't
time.
doing anything the Israelites weren't doing, but
No.
but I'm saying in the passage it says explicitly why they were punished, and they were punished here for what they did in opposing Israel when they came up out of Egypt. The problem is that was 400 years prior
They weren't
to
punished.
the actual slaughter that's going on here.
There was no punishment. God had to. God told his people to defend themselves because they were coming to kill them.
Wait, you just said there was no punishment?
Okay, so a punishment is different from defending yourself. You understand?
Well, in verse 2,
Like
it
God
says,
could.
thus says the Lord of hosts, I will punish the Amalekites for what they did in opposing the Israelites when they came up out of Egypt.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is what I'm saying. God, if God is the highest standard of good, then obviously he's going, basically this is his way of saying he's going to punish them by them dying. Because if they obviously lost, right? They had more men, they had more army, they had more willpower, and they still lost. So they got punished, right? That's what it meant.
Well, they're being punished 400 years later. The people who's actually being punished didn't have anything to do with the crime they're being punished for. That's why I'm calling God unjust.
Bro, they were pagan religion. We'll have to move on because I'm making it. This is not something I'm coming up with, you know.
But you understand
I'm not coming up
that
with these
at
things.
the time they're being wiped out is 400 years after the crime that they're being wiped out for.
Bro, they're being wiped out because they refuse to attain to the highest standard of good, that is God. They did not
It doesn't
want.
say that. It says, thus says the Lord of hosts, I will punish the Amalekites for what they did in opposing the Israelites when they came up out of Egypt.
All right, bro. They continued their rituals for centuries, bro. They continued their rituals.
It doesn't say
children?
that. It says they were wiped out for what they did in opposing Israel when they came up out of Egypt. That's all.
The children did
Bro.
it too.
Yes, the children grew up to follow in their lineage and their
Well,
parents.
there were
footsteps.
children that didn't grow up yet that were wiped out.
But in those times, children would have sought revenge. That's all they had to live for, the honor. So they would have literally grown up to attack the
So
Israelites.
even though they didn't do it yet, they were going to in the future. So let's just wipe them out now.
Well, God is omniscient, and He is doing this for the greater good of mankind.
Yeah, that's not just.
That is just on the
That
perspective
is not
of God.
just.
It's not just.
So you're judging. So what I'm saying is, hold on. So what I'm saying is,
for a crime you hadn't committed.
Hold on. So what I'm saying is, you are claiming authority. You are claiming the highest authority. So you're telling me you know more than God?
Yeah, we're saying he's punishing innocent
Well, then
people
this isn't
for
a-
things
this
they
isn't-
did not
this-
do. That's not justice.
This isn't a conversation about finding the truth. This is a conversation about your ego. This has nothing to do with about the truth. Because I'm telling
Dude,
you that
we're
if
talking
God
about
is
justice, he is punishing innocent
Well, right, so if
people
God-
for things they didn't do. That's not justice.
Bro, what I'm telling you is that if God is all-knowing and He knows that what they can possibly do in the future, you're telling me that you know more than God? That's all I'm hearing. If you know
What
more than
about-
God, we could move on, bro. We could move
What about
on.
We're
David's
telling
wives?
you that it's not justified to punish people for a crime they have not committed.
Correct.
I don't think you understand, bro.
No, you
Like
don't
God,
understand.
like the potential they had the potential to create a worst world for us. So God had to wipe them out. Do you not understand? God knew this, so He had to wipe them out for
We
you to
understand
have.
you're speculating that, but you don't understand the actual premise of
Bro,
the story.
okay, so let's
Why
move
he
on.
says
Let's
they're
take-
being
let's-
punished,
let's-
and
let's
the people
take-
that he's actually punishing.
Elias,
take-
wouldn't it have been better for God to not even let those babies be born?
Yeah.
What do you mean it'll be? So what you're
Instead of
trying to say?
letting them be born, say they lived for 7 years, right? And He
So what
wiped them out when they were
So what you're
7.
telling me, like,
Why didn't
so
He
what-
just not let them be born instead of let them be born for 7 years and be a little innocent baby and say, oh,
Listen,
well, he's going to grow up to
a
be
baby is
evil
only
anyway.
innocent for so long, until he turns into a sinful creature, disgusting person.
Well, these babies
alright?
didn't
What's
get
the
to
age of
grow
that?
up,
don't wanna-
so they were innocent
Listen,
their
listen,
entire
you-
life until they had their,
Listen,
their bodies
you are
put to the
basic.
sword.
Sorry, I know I'm over talking you. I'm sorry. It's a lot to kind of.
That's all right.
You know,
Go-
talk
That's all right. Go ahead. You're being cool.
But
Go ahead, man.
I understand where your anger and frustration is coming from, but it really depends on your presupposition. Like how you
Well,
perceive God will allow you to see how He does things. So if you think God is evil, you're gonna see everything that he does is evil. This is my whole point I'm trying to say here. I'm trying my
We're
best.
saying it's evil. I know, but we're saying it's evil to punish people for things they have not done. He is clearly punishing people that were not guilty of the crime that they're being punished for in this passage.
Well,
That's
he
the
even says
problem
it in
here.
the book not to do it. It's bad to do that, and then he does it.
Yeah,
What
that's
I'm
true.
confused about is
Exactly.
what I'm confused about is this. Like, for instance, like if God did not wipe out the Egyptians, we would literally be their slaves right now. We would literally be, being treated like nothing. We would be. So what I'm asking you is like, why are you studying so much about what is undone? Which you should be focused on what can transpire. Like, why are you so focused about what is, focusing about the potential of what could be, not on, it didn't happen, therefore God is evil. Like, you have to think about the potential is what I'm trying to
So
offer you.
what
Because
was
we're
David's wives going
discussing
to do?
specifically what justice is, and
Yeah.
it can't be justified to punish innocent people. That's what the topic is here.
I kind of have a question for you. Like, is your disbelief in God only dependent on these things, or is it the fact, like, on other factors as well?
No,
Like,
this
is
has
it?
nothing to do whether he's actually exist or not. This is just saying if he does exist, then he's doing things that are clearly unjust. A lot.
But do you believe that there's a possibility that God exists? Yes or no?
I can grant you he exists, and if he does, he's clearly
Okay.
unjust.
Well, at least you're honest. At
Because
least
he's
most people
punishing
say
innocent people. He says it's unjust to punish the son for the sin of the father, and then he proceeds to punish the son for the sin of the father. So he's not just even by his own standard.
you see, the reality is that, like, you have to remember God had to keep a balance of good and evil in the world. All right, and the only time that this would have been necessary is at the point of mankind, the beginning of
The just
mankind.
way to do it was to not even
So-
let them be born, is what I'm saying.
Well, God might as well not let anyone be born because we're all evil. We're
Okay,
all
so
He
if
might
that's
as well
just
not, because it's gonna
yeah.
You
bash
understand
your
what
brains
I'm
out
saying?
as soon
Like-
as you are born.
Like, so you can't really say, like, I shouldn't be born. I'm a disgusting, lustful person who has been trying my best to not be an animalistic person. I'm trying my best. I'm a disgusting person. If God took my life,
Yeah, but
I would
you're
understand.
justifying that by saying
right?
he might as well unalive you now because you're going to do something lustful in the future. It's the same
Bro, if
difference.
my child,
it's bad
listen, if-
either way.
Correct.
I don't even listen. I'm going this far to say this. If God has the knowledge that my child is going to grow up to kill billions of people, I will let my God kill my child because I am that.
Yeah, but why
because
not just make
right?
the child not born instead of unaliving it before it does
God
the stuff
can't
that
stop-
he says it's going to
God
do?
can't
That makes
stop-
no sense.
God can't stop every evil from happening because this is what free will is, bro. Like he
You're-
can't. If that
you're
was the
saying
case, he might
did
as well
stop
not allow.
evil from happening.
He might
That's
as well
your
not
entire
listen.
argument.
It's better for you to say why did God even create the earth and the universe than to say that because that point you're making is a bit illogical. Like you understand what I mean?
No, I don't think you understand exactly what you're saying.
No,
man.
God-
You're
it's
saying
better for
God
you to-
stopped evil by unaliving people before they could do the evil, but then you're also saying
Bro.
at the same time
Bro.
that God can't stop
Oh,
the evil.
okay,
Like,
okay,
what are
okay,
you talking
okay, bro.
about?
All right, we're going in circles. So I'll try to come to the conclusion that I truly believe that everything God has done was for the greater good of man, and I truly believe and I trust in God and His omniscience, and that's it, bro. Like I don't see why. I mean, I don't understand why you studying those things so much, but so be it.
Because
Okay, bro.
because God is commanding that innocent children be set on fire for things
Are
they
children
didn't do.
innocent?
And
Are
then
children
people
innocent forever, bro? Let me ask you this: Are children
They are
innocent
innocent
forever?
of the crime that they are being set
Are
on
they
fire
innocent
for,
forever?
and that's
Is the
my
question
issue.
I'm asking. The
I
question
don't
I'm
know
asking.
what that even
Oh
means.
my gosh, you're kidding me.
I'm saying the children that were set on fire did not commit the crime that they were set
But
on
they
fire
were
for
going
on
to.
God's order.
God knows they were going to. So who are you to say anything?
Elias,
Going to what?
do you
They
think
were
babies
set
are
on
born
fire for
evil?
someone
Continue.
else's crime. There's
Okay,
nothing
okay,
he knew
okay,
that they were
okay.
going to do. He's
Okay.
punishing
All right,
for
all
a
right,
crime
bro, all
that had
right,
been
bro. I think
committed.
you made your point clear, and I
Do
made
you
my
think
point
babies
clear.
are born evil? Do you think babies
Sorry?
are born evil?
No, babies are born with the potential of evil.
Right. So they're not evil, but they have a potential to become evil. There's
Yes.
circumstances in life that would make them become that way. But
Yeah.
until they become that way, they're innocent, is what we are saying.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to tell you is that if those babies, the thing is, I'm not judge. What I'm saying is, some of those babies are saved because they did not have to experience life on Earth and transpire to have that potential.
What?
So that
No, they're
some,
not
yes,
saved.
some
They
of
were
them,
Getting their
unalived.
brains bashed out. What are you
some of
talking
those
about?
babies are not in hell. They're not in hell. Some of
You
those
don't know
babies are
that.
saved.
Yeah, but they had their
Exactly, and
brains
you
bashed
don't either.
out.
This. Sorry, I'm over talking all of you, but this is my point. None of us can speak on God's part. This is what I'm trying
We
to say. Some of them
can
could.
because you're passing the point where a crime is committed. God gets mad. He orders children are set on fire for that crime. This
No,
isn't
no.
about what the children might do later. He's
Listen,
punishing them for a crime that had already been committed.
I just want to reply to FIFA's comment. No abortion is not
Wait,
fine.
reply to mine first,
okay.
and then you can reply to that.
I know. I just have to make that clear. Abortion is not fine. All right. Only God has the power to take life and give life. No one else has that power. All right? Yeah, bro. I don't know what else to say because it's like we're gonna go in circles, and I just believe that this is what I believe, and I think God has been fair because I'm so glad I'm so glad for the
What
Crusaders.
about David's wives? Was he fair with David's wives?
Concubines, you mean? They weren't even his wives. There was concubines. There was whores.
It
That's what
doesn't
they were.
matter.
Concubines are
It
wives.
doesn't matter.
God never ordained that.
He calls
God,
them their wives.
God. Well,
He
that's
calls them
David.
their wives.
Sorry, go
And
ahead.
a concubine is a wife. It's a legal stat. It's like considered a lesser wife.
Right.
They're
So
still
so
considered legal wives, though.
yeah. So you're saying because they weren't wives, it's okay for God to grape them in public because of
No,
something David
God
did?
did not do that. That was David himself. That was his
No.
brother that did that. That was his
No,
brother.
God
God.
commanded
His
it.
God says
brother
it was
wanted
him.
his throne. His brother wanted
God
his
commanded
throne.
That's his son.
No,
It's
his
his
brother
son,
was
and God
going to
did
do it
command it.
anyway. His brother
No,
was
he
going to do
wasn't.
it
Oh my
anyway.
gosh.
God never commanded
That's
it.
a
God said this was
no.
He
going to
did.
happen.
Read it to him,
God
host.
said, "I will
No, his
take your
brother was.
wives before your eyes."
Listen, you have to let me speak. What's her name? Patricia. What is her name? I don't even know.
Katrina.
So listen,
It's Patrina.
like, oh, okay. So listen, you have to realize what I'm trying to say here. Like, God said what He was going to do. Basically, like it was inevitable. His brother was going to do that to him, and so God said, "Look at what your brother is going to do."
How do you know that was
Basically.
going to happen anyway? When before
How
it
you
happened,
don't? How
God
do you
said
know
He
it
was going to
wasn't?
make it happen. Because
How do
God
you
said
know?
He's going to make it happen before that.
It's not in the sense that He's forcing His free will to make it. His
It
brother's
says,
free will
"I
to make
will
it happen.
take your." God says, "I will take your wives before your eyes and give them to your neighbor, and he shall lie with your wives in broad daylight." God is saying, "I
Yeah,
will take
basically,
them."
it's an indirect statement because God is not
It's
direct.
a
God is
direct statement.
God.
He's
It's
saying, "I
no.
will do this."
God cannot force you to do something against your will. He has promised us this free will. So by His brother doing it,
What?
He is fulfilling God's
That's
prophecy.
not true.
Basically, do you understand?
That's
God
not
cannot
true.
take your
You don't read
hand.
your
That's
book.
just
You don't read your book, Elijah.
yeah.
That's not
That's
true.
No.
that's just
God cannot
that's
take your
vastly
hand. God
incorrect.
does not tempt man. He has said it and made it clear. God does
Oh
not
yes, He
tempt man.
does. He does it constantly.
God does not tempt man to do anything.
He does
Okay?
too. It says
All
it
right.
was the Lord's doing to harden their hearts so that they would come against Israel in battle in order that He might utterly destroy them.
People harden their own hearts, my friend. God is speaking
This
in a way
says
that's
God hardened their
indirectly.
hearts. What about when it
God
says
cannot
God
harden
hardened their hearts?
anyone's heart, bro. God
It
does
says,
not.
"For it was the
Bro,
Lord's doing to harden
dude,
their
you're.
hearts."
It's called a linguistic misinterpretation because you want to perceive it in
It's
the way you
it's
want
not a
to perceive it,
misinterpretation. It's
and
what
you're
it
not
says.
You're not listening to me, bro. Okay, so coming back
You're
to
not
David's
listening
point.
to the words. Words have meanings. When it
Okay,
says it was the
bro,
Lord's doing, it means the Lord did
listen
it.
to me, dog. Listen to me, right?
The Lord did it,
If his
man.
brother was jealous of David, do you not realize he wanted his
It's
power,
his
bro? And he
son.
left.
Absalom was his
Sorry,
son.
his son. Sorry, his son. Yes, sorry. When he left, when his father left to go to war, his son was basically, did not like. He wanted to control and everything, right? And so this is what happened, bro. God, what do you think? God told him to do that?
It says, "I will
It's
take your
jealousy,
wives
bro. It's
before your
jealousy. It's
eyes
So
and
envy,
God
give
bro.
them
punished
to
his
your neighbor."
wives. So God punished his wives for something he did.
Basically, what God is saying is
says,
that
but you did it secretly, but I will do this thing before
You're
all of Israel
ignoring.
and in broad daylight. God is
oh my gosh,
completely
you
taking
guys don't
responsibility for
understand,
this.
dog.
You're ignoring what's being said here.
No, you are misinterpreting it, and you're not listening to my perspective, and so
Tell
we
us
have to
how.
move on.
Okay, well, tell us how we're misinterpreting it then.
So basically, what I'm telling you is that obviously God is the highest standard of good. So obviously, this is what he was going to do to David. Basically, he's basically saying, "I'm allowing your son to do this to you." He's allowing it. Does not mean he is
Does
initiating
it say
it
I
into
will
an
allow
actuality.
or I will take?
You have to.
Does this
Yeah.
say
So
I will
every so
allow
you,
or I will
bro,
take?
what you're doing is you're pulling an atheist tactic where you take everything literal to prove your point.
Oh my
I just
gosh.
told you.
Words
I
You're
don't mean
just
taking
words.
a
told
Christian
you that.
tactic where you
I
change the
just
words to
told
make
you,
it suit
bro.
your narrative.
Dog, we can move on, bro. You already
You're
understand where I'm
changing what it
coming from.
says. You're
We're
changing
moving on,
take
bro.
to
We're
the word
moving on.
allow.
We're moving on. I'm not gonna let you dilute what I just said. We're
We
moving
can't
on.
move on because this
Okay.
is a very bad story
Of
for
course, your
something
identity
where
is
God did
rooted in
something
hate for
bad.
God. Of course, you can't move on. You want to. Of course, your identity is rooted in hate
Why
for God. So
should
you're not
why
gonna
should we
listen to me,
think
dog.
you're right when you say it says allow when it says take
You don't
and
have to
not
think I'm
allow?
right. God of the Bible is the highest
Why
standard of
would
good.
I? Give
You
me a
don't have to
reason
think I'm
to.
right,
Why
bro.
you're saying it says allow when it says take?
Bro, you have to realize that this is what it's meant, dog. If you hate God, you're gonna see it like that. I don't know what else to say to you, bro. Like God
So
already
you're
says he
telling me
tempts
when
no
God
man.
says I will
Why do
do
you
this
think?
thing that you're
What,
actually means God I will allow him to do this if he wants to.
God is saying, listen, I'm gonna allow it to happen, and this is righteous to God. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna
Okay,
allow
well
it to
show us
happen.
where
This
it
is the
says
righteous
that
thing.
and not where it says he will
Oh my
make it
gosh,
happen.
bro. Oh my gosh. Yes. Show this. And you're acting like
That's
a
still
come
disgusting.
on, dude.
I will allow this and it's righteous. What?
Listen, Patricia, you've not. God forbid, if you had to exist in medieval times and wars were going on, like I don't know how you would act, bro. Like I don't know, like this is life. You have to accept this is life. There's good and evil everywhere. Like you have to, you
Really?
have to,
I'm
you
not going
gotta
to
toughen
accept
up
it.
a
No,
little
I'm
bit,
not going
dog.
to accept that a
Life
deity
is
that you worship is
life
okay
isn't
with
fairy tales,
taking
dog.
it because my husband does something to somebody else that he can come and take me out in front of the city and do whatever he wants with me, and God says it's righteous.
God
What?
never said it's righteous. What God is saying is this
You
is
just
what
said that. You
God is
just
saying.
said
This
that.
to God, what God is trying to say to the word, what God is saying to his believers is basically telling you that if you want to go against me, this is what's going to happen. Okay, this is
Right.
what God is
So
saying,
Yeah,
if
right?
my
he's
So
gonna
husband
have you
goes
great.
against God, if my husband goes against God,
he
God
will
says
allow
it's
your husband to
righteous.
do what he wants. That's free will. Did I
Right.
not
So
tell you?
God will allow
So
It's not
me
free
basically,
to
God
will.
go
has to
be
kill.
punished
Dog, I
because of
already
it.
told you, God cannot kill every evil person, dog. Then he might as well not have created us. Move on, move on. So the next question
How come he can kill some of the evil people
Don't
and not other
crash out,
ones?
Oh
Elias.
my
It's
gosh,
okay.
because you guys are tough to deal with. You're tough, man. Like I'm trying to be passive here. All
We're
right,
just
you want
trying
to
to
hold
hold
your.
you to the actual words that it's saying, and you
No,
insist on changing the
if you think I
words.
haven't heard this before, you're wrong, bro. I'm moving on. Like I'm moving on. We can move
Yeah,
on.
but you're changing the words. That's our
I'm
concern
not
here.
changing anything. I'm telling you the
You are
perspective from
changing
you
it.
have. Dog, somebody has to tell you literally to like you're taking it too accurately
Are
because
you married,
this
Elias?
is what you
Are
have
you
to do
married?
when you're atheist.
Are
If
you
I'm
married?
married, no, I'm not married. No,
We have to read the words for what they actually mean. Yeah.
Do you have a
no.
brother
You
or a
want to
sister?
perceive what you want to perceive.
Do you have
What?
a brother or a
I
sister?
mean,
Yeah, I do.
word type meanings.
Okay, so you're going to do something bad in the future, okay? Or you've done something already. So this deity that you worship is going to take your brother or your sister and punish them for something you did. Is that righteous?
No, God, as I told you already, it was inevitable for the son of David to do that. God is not forcing him to do
I'm
anything. It's
talking about his
inevitable. God
wives.
just allowed it. God just allowed
I'm
it. It's
talking
inevitable.
about his
He
wives
killed
being
David's
punished.
son,
You are
and he
pulling a
kills
fallacy
David's
here.
son.
Do you know what a fallacy is? You are arranging the question
It's
in the
not a
way you
fallacy.
want to
It's what
see
it
the question,
says.
dog.
It's
You're
what the
running.
I
words
already
say.
told you that
You're running.
God is not doing anything. He's not actualizing anything. He's allowing you to
It
actualize the
literally says he
inevitable.
is actualizing it, though.
No, you are free will. You can do as you please. You could kill anyone you want. God is not gonna stop you, dog.
Elias, so your
Oh
brother
my
or
God.
sister that gets punished is you doing that. Is that what you're saying?
No,
You're doing
no,
that?
you see, this is a false equivocation. I already
It's
told you
not.
I'm moving on, you just want to win so bad.
Of course, you
You
want to
can't
move
win
on
in
to something you
this is a
can't answer.
perception. This is a matter of
Right, for real.
perception, and you're
I
trying
mean,
to
you might
make
as
it
well
up.
move on, buddy, because I mean, you're just not addressing the words. Like, I mean, words have
You're
meanings.
not,
Just
no, you're not, you want to
it
believe what
says
you want at the
words
end of the
because
day,
it
dog.
wants
I
you
didn't
to
nothing like this.
comprehend what it's saying,
You're
and
telling me
you're
God took
changing it.
David's hand, God took David's son's hand and did those
Yeah.
things. You're telling me that. Simple question.
Yes,
God
that's
took
what it
David's
And his
son.
says.
wife.
Unfortunately for
Well, you
you,
have a
yes.
false understanding. You read the Bible.
No,
God
we
says he
have an
tempts no
actual
man.
reading of
If
the
God
words.
says he
You
tempts
can
no man,
you
you are
can
wrong.
keep yelling, but
Okay.
it's not going to change what it says. It
No,
says
because
God
you're
killed the
ignorant
baby.
and it's
God
childish, bro.
struck the
Okay.
baby down.
We have
God
to move
murdered
on
that
to another
baby.
question. Is there
God
anything
did
else
it.
you'd like to talk about? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
God.
it
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
says
Sure,
is
sure.
what
God
we'd like
also
to
made
talk
you
about.
eat the food you wanted to eat today. You're right. God also made you do that. You're right. You're right. So
Yeah.
let's move on.
Well, thanks. Yep. Thanks for coming up, buddy. But it's you've clearly crashed out beyond the conversation.
Yeah, crash and burn.
Yikes. That's like, I mean, I get it. Like, I wouldn't want to admit I worship this murderous God either. And I actually, in a weird way, I respect the guy even more for at least not like acknowledging that he would like, worship a God like that, I guess. But yeah, you're changing the word take to allow, man. Like, I mean, it says, I will do this thing. Like, God is literally saying, I will do this. It says, the Lord struck the child. Like, this is God taking personal responsibility for these things. This isn't saying, I will allow them to do this if they want to do it. This is God saying, I will do this
It's
thing.
almost like he's not holding God accountable. Strange.
That's what I was saying. Like, in a weird, like, I don't respect the dishonesty there. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I prefer that as a human. Like, I will take that over it being like, oh yeah, it's God totally big. Yeah, God can do whatever he wants. Like, I prefer the denial as a human being. As weird as that is to say, it's strange. But,
He came up here saying he's an apologist, but I don't know. He didn't apologize very well.
Damn, is that what it said? Shit. All right, so well, it's been over 2 hours, and that was pretty awesome. We had somebody to talk to the whole time. I've had a rough 3 days, Patrina. Like, there's been a few folks come up, but it's been a rough rough the last 3 days. So it was nice to have a whole show with somebody to talk to. And I might even do some more. Actually, it's raining outside, so I can't do anything outside. So I'm kind of
Yeah,
bored.
it's raining here too.
So I might jump on my backup account and try again.
Okay.
Or do some more, but I'm going to have to end this one and go to the bathroom.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me up. It's been fun.
Yeah, for sure. Always a pleasure, Miss Patrina. Make sure y'all are following Miss Patrina too. You still do lives, don't you?
Yeah, I still do lives.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure she still does lives, so she does the really good ones. But I may be back, I may not. I don't know. If I come back on, y'all come back. If not, do something else.
We'll see you when we see you.
Hell yeah, that's right. Miss Patrina, you have a good one. Everybody else, much love if we don't see you again. But I think I might jump on my backup account for a little while. Yes, later, guys. Thank you to the it's cool to have a good episode finally. Thank you all.